In 1924, Richard Connell released his short story, The Most Dangerous Game, where a shipwrecked man found himself the prey of an insane Russian aristocrat. Ever since, cat and mouse movies have captured Hollywood's attention, and you can even say it led to some near perfect films. Let's get started.
Oh
I hate
God,
you so much.
I hated
hate you
that.
so
That was
much.
the best version that
I
it
hated
ended up.
I hate
I'm
you.
so
the
happy.
Perfect. I
I'm
did
so
not like
happy.
that.
I'm so
I hate
happy
you.
right now. Oh, this is the most fun I've had all week.
Oh,
That was the
God.
worst thing I ever
Oh,
heard.
that was good. That was good. I'm glad you guys love my puns so much.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going
Fuck
to do
you.
puns every cold open from
I
now
mean, you
on.
might as well at this point.
This is the first one I've done.
You know, if it was like a better pun, I wouldn't have minded. But if it felt like it was kind of low hanging,
I mean, I did Google cat pun, and it was the first one that came out.
Yeah.
In like
You had to look for it?
you had to look up perfect.
I kind of. Well, originally I was thinking about I was gonna do like they're making a real killing off of it, but I'm like that doesn't really make sense here.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't.
then I
make
decided,
sense
well, let's
here
go
at
for
all.
a cow. Let's go for a cat pun instead, and this is where we ended up.
All right.
But on this point, welcome to 3, 2, 1 Binge.
You still don't know
your
the
host,
name of the show, do
I
you?
don't remember the name of the show I named. I'm your host, Chris. Here's one of our co-hosts, Tyler,
Yeah, what's up?
and our other co-host, Faison.
Yep.
And this week, we're going to be talking about some classic cat and mouse movies. The Ultimate Chase. The Ultimate Prey.
The ultimate
Yeah.
chase. Yeah. Our first movie is Catch Me If You Can, where there's this young kid, Frank. He's what, 17, 18?
I think it's like
At the
17
time?
at the start.
Yep.
His parents end up getting divorced because his dad is being investigated for, well, from what I found out, tax evasion. Basically, he runs away, and he just, in order to make a living, he starts forging checks,
mean, it's
making
just what you do.
millions of dollars.
If
A
it works
lot
for
of
the
money.
first, if it works for the first 100,000, there's no reason to stop.
Yeah. And throughout the movie, he's being chased by this FBI agent. And to get away from him, he just starts making up more cons.
It's great.
It's kind of impressive.
It is impressive. I mean,
Also
it's based on a true story.
off of a true story.
Yeah.
I did not realize that until the end, because like apparently it says it in the very beginning, like in the opening title sequence, but I didn't notice it.
I think it. Oh yeah, no, it does.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
does.
notice it at all. And
Yeah.
then at the end, it's like Frank's still, Frank is now married in the Midwest, and it's like what?
Yeah, he works
This
as a
is a person?
security expert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
He makes-
forgeries.
He makes millions
Millions
based
of
off a
dollars.
system he built because
Because
he knew
every-
how to break into checks.
Yeah, I mean, who better to get the guy who broke every rule to be like, hey, you should probably make the rules now since you're the one breaking them all.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's honestly great. This is a fun movie. I mean,
it was fun.
It's Spielberg, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
The beginning was a little depressing, not gonna lie.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's Spielberg, Leo, and Tom Hanks, so.
Yeah.
it's a good trio.
Yeah.
Like it's young Leo too, because this is 2002. So this is only 5 years after Titanic. So this is like, it's famous
This is
Leo.
peak Leo.
Well,
Well, not really
I don't
peak.
know.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say-
I
I
was
wouldn't
I was
say
about to
peak.
say.
Pick a peak for him, so.
Yeah. He's been in his peak for like 20 years.
Yeah, he hasn't seemed to really fall off anytime soon. But this is like just suddenly super famous Leo, like post Titanic Leo.
Yeah.
But it's not like Wolf of Wall Street, Great Gatsby, or Django Leo. You
Yeah.
know,
In terms of acting, or you mean his.
in terms of I guess just like popularity.
Do you
I mean,
think
yeah.
he's more popular now than he was before?
I think with a larger demographic.
Yeah, because back then he was the
It was like a teen
teen
heartthrob.
from Titanic, and I guess that carried over to this because he's still playing the 17-year-old, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like he's probably like
Yeah,
had a
yeah, that makes
demographic
sense.
he killed in, but like
Now he's just popular.
now he's just
throughout.
like the most one of the
Yeah.
most famous actors. Period.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like it was a big thing. Like when is Leo gonna get his Oscar?
And he got it for Revenant, which is probably not the right one.
It was a good performance.
Yeah.
It's not a great movie.
But like I
I
don't
mean,
think
it was a good movie.
It was a good movie,
It's
but
just not like his best movie.
yeah, there's still two. I mean, for me, there's two others that are better.
Which are?
I mean, not like him acting wise.
Yeah, which are?
Departed. Departed is my favorite role from him.
Departed's so fucking good.
And then, I mean, people wanted him for Wolf of Wall Street, but Matthew McConaughey wasn't losing that year, so.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that was for Dallas Buyers Club?
Yep.
Yeah, no, Matthew McConaughey was not losing that year. Departed's a really good movie. But yeah, I think this is a really fun movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's the lightest compared to our next two on the list.
Yeah.
But it's just like
I mean,
it still had some like dark moments.
Yeah.
Well, not like
it's not.
I wouldn't say dark, but like
Well,
sad
downer.
moments.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a scene towards the end where he gets captured and he's being escorted back to the U.S. by the agent played by Tom Hanks,
Yeah.
and the agent informs him that his father died.
And it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I mean, first of all, the whole thing with his dad in the movie isn't true. Once he ran away as a kid, he never met his dad again. In the movie, they just put that in because Spielberg also was a kid of divorce, so he wanted to
Yeah.
have more of a connection there.
yeah,
Yeah, he wanted to be like he was doing this to like
Impress
please
him.
his dad or impress
Yeah.
his dad.
yeah. I mean, it does make a really nice character dynamic.
Yeah.
Because like when you see like young Frank with his father in the beginning of the film, where it's like he's like they're fooling around together, they make these jokes together and all this. It's like it's a very wholesome dynamic.
Yeah, like the scene where he gets where he's like in the office because he was imitating the substitute French teacher.
Yeah.
And then his mom's like all disappointed in him, and then him and his dad just like smile at each other while they're walking out.
That's like a great little moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause I mean, like,
yeah.
he was impersonating his French teacher for a whole week, and his dad's like, all right, that's impressive. How the hell did you do that for a whole week?
Yeah, it's like a fun little moment. But then later on, like when he realizes his mother remarried and he meets his dad in a bar, it's such like a dreary, almost fucked up moment because like he's walking away and his dad's like, "Where are you going? Where are you going? Somewhere nice, somewhere like Tahiti, Hawaii." Because like the last thing he knew is his son was an airline pilot.
Yeah.
So it's almost like rubbing it in a way. Like it gets really toxic between them, and it's like I think that dynamic's really interesting.
Yeah.
As it goes through.
I mean, Walken got nominated for this one, which, I mean, I didn't see any of the other movies that he was nominated against. He didn't win, so I found it weird that he was nominated. But granted, I don't know much from like 2002 movies and which ones were supposed to be that good.
I mean, I think Walken was pretty good in this overall. Like he's definitely not giving a bad performance at all.
Oh no, he's not. I mean, like the two standout moments for him is the scene in the fancy restaurant when he's
about to break down.
Yeah, and then the one, I guess the bar scene is the second one.
Yeah, I mean those are his major scenes because it's after that we don't see him again.
Yeah.
His last scene is the bar scene. So
Yeah, I think one thing that's definitely worth noting is the music, and this is done by John Williams of Extreme fame. Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter,
Jaws.
E.T.,
Anything that's
Jaws.
big?
Yeah, anything that if you hear the theme, you know the movie. It was John Williams.
Yeah.
or if you see Spielberg, it's probably John Williams.
Yeah, he also did Schindler's List.
Like outside of like
it's gonna be interesting to see.
Pirates of the Caribbean. That's really
was that
about
Zimmer?
it. Yeah, Zimmer.
That's Zimmer. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, most people who know, even if you don't know, like, composers, you probably will. You can ask anybody; they'll name Williams, they'll name Zimmer.
Yeah, like those are the big two.
Those are the only two I know.
Yeah, those are also the only two I know.
I mean,
saw a
people might say like Trent Reznor or Johnny Greenwood, but that's just me. So
look at this guy rubbing it in.
Yeah, all right, Tyler.
Rubbing that knowledge in.
I'll get it. We know you know music. Okay, cool. No
I
need
saw
to
like
brag.
okay.
I saw like a live orchestral performance of like Williams versus Zimmer in the UK. It's really nice. Like they both do like distinctly different music, but
Orchestra
really good ones.
battles.
Kinda. It was good. It was.
That's actually pretty cool.
It was a really nice. It was a really nice experience. But I think that this is going to be maybe a bit of a hot take for this movie. I think this is one of the few movies where John Williams' music doesn't work super well. Like I don't think it's bad, but it feels almost very Christmassy. Like it reminds me of like his stuff on Home Alone. Like it's very jingly, very happy music, and it doesn't like the movie feels like a little bit more grounded for his kind of like whimsical sound.
But doesn't the Christmas aspect work?
It works
Because-
because they meet every year on Christmas. Him and the agent
Yeah.
hunting him. But I feel like his music feels just a bit too whimsical. I don't know.
Okay.
It throws me a little bit.
Yeah, I do feel like there was never like the music never added like tension or like suspense as much as it could have.
Yeah, it was very happy.
But it
Happy
wasn't
music.
like there wasn't. I mean, you might have got some suspense when Frank was about to be caught by Carl, the FBI agent, and I mean, like that doesn't really happen because there's no suspense during that first meetup when they meet.
Yeah, no.
When
you know
Carl,
he's getting away with it.
Yeah, because you automatically assume it's like, oh, this is the first time they meet. He can't lose immediately. He's gonna find a way out of it, and it doesn't really get caught until later in the movie, and even then, it's not that suspenseful.
There are moments with tension, like when he's in the little French village, and Tom Hanks has come to get him, and then also at the end when he goes and he visits his mother's house and he realizes she has had a new kid. I'd say like if not tension, at least intense moments.
Apparently that wasn't true.
Also not true?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She didn't have another kid.
Yeah, he took
He also grew up with like two brothers and a sister.
Spielberg is just like cutting and pasting shit wherever he wants to make it more emotional.
He lifted the main point of Frank's story of him conning. That part.
I think the whole con part and a lot of the cons that he went through were like really accurate.
Yeah,
because they had like an actual FBI agent on
set for it.
On set, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Frank said he didn't want to be.
He didn't want to be involved in it or something.
Because
like
then
that.
he would be like, "Oh no, I want it to be this. I want it to look better." He's like, he knew he was gonna do that, so he was like, "Hey, here's my story.
Don't let me touch it. Like, here's my story. Don't let me touch it."
Basically,
okay.
But like, I'll give you my basic details. I don't really care that he thought it was fine, the dad thing, because like, oh, I get it. He wanted to have that aspect for it. It didn't happen, but I mean, he
it makes
enjoyed what he
a good
saw.
movie.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I think that like Yeah, I mean, I do think they're a good. I think it's overall definitely feels like a movie and less like a historical event. Like now, especially when you like moments like that always feel a little bit fabricated in movies like this that are based off a true story. When they try and like they dig into the family drama, it's like okay, you weren't, no one really here was aware of it, so it's like it always feels tagged on. And in this case, it literally
most of the
was
times
tagged on.
Yeah.
In
this case, yeah.
But I think it still works to like its merits as a movie.
Yeah, no, I think that scene was like heart-wrenching.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was like,
Like-
the most like he sees his like little half sister and he's knocking on the glass. She knocks back, and then he just like says bye, and he just like tells the cops, just take me to the car, put me in the car, put me in the car.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, that's fucked. That's really good. But one last thing on Williams' music. He did Schindler's List. Man, I wonder if it's as upbeat and jingly, because I have not seen Schindler's List, and that would feel like a weird mix.
Probably not.
I have a feeling
assume
it's not.
I
none of us seen
completely
it?
assume not, but I've never heard anything of Williams that doesn't feel like a
Well,
little bit
Jaws.
jingly.
Jaws.
Jaws feels intense, but it's still, I guess, okay. I mean, I guess Jaws is the fair one there.
Yeah.
I just really, I don't know. I don't want to be like, it's gonna, it'd be really weird to play Home Alone music over concentration camps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely would.
Like that'd be a little bit
I have
weird.
a feeling
right?
they're not going to do that one. just the thought.
I would hope not.
Let's hope, I guess. Oh man, I mean, some of the cons that Frank pulls in this movie are really fun. Like I
Yeah.
really like just the airline one.
The
in
airline
general.
montage and the
In
montage
towards
in the beginning. Yeah,
That's
is
like
fun.
probably my favorite of his schemes. Just the
Yeah.
airline one. Like the law one is fun, but in the end he says like, "Oh, I actually studied for the bar." So he didn't really, he didn't
didn't
really
con it,
cheat.
yeah.
He was just really smart.
The doctor
Or,
one's pretty
like-
funny.
Yeah, the doctor one's
Well,
funny.
even like the first time he meets Carl, where he's like, "Yeah, I'm a Secret Service agent."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great short bit.
Yeah.
It's like he completely just bullshits. He's like, "Here's, take my whole wallet. Just check my whole wallet. Let me go and walk down. Let me get this guy." And he just like completely. He gambled everything on the fact that this guy wouldn't open it.
Yeah.
Until he left.
Yeah, until he left, and it was just it completely paid off in the end.
Yeah.
It was such a good moment. I mean, like I also really like the like as you said, this movie kind of works on a Christmas level.
Yeah.
Because every year, him and Tom Hanks end up basically having a call together on Christmas.
Because it's really that. Like obviously, Leo plays Frank as a kid. He is a kid. He's 17 years old. You don't really see him as a kid when he's conning. And on Christmas is the time where he still shows that he's a kid because
Yeah.
he's alone.
Yeah.
And the
yeah.
only person he can talk to is basically the FBI agent that's trying to catch him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also a little bit self-destructive. Like every time he's like actively giving information out, because Frank's smart. Frank's pretty aware of what he does and doesn't need to do to get caught. But like the first time he calls him, he says, "Hey, I'm in this hotel room. I'm in this place," and the agent's like, "I don't believe it. That's bullshit. You're trying to make a fool out of me. I'm not going to go." Right? It turns out, yes, he was in that
there.
place, and he was
fact,
pretty
in
much
that
giving
exact
himself
room.
up.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then later times he mentions the Yankees. He mentions
Barry Allen.
He mentions Barry Allen. You know,
Yeah.
like all these little things that give it away on him, and it's kind of like a self-destructive thing where he doesn't really want to be here, but he does like the thrill of the hunt, or maybe it's even that he does love the thrill of the hunt so much that like
it might be that.
because like at the end he gets captured and he gets offered a position in the FBI to work hunting down the people who commit crimes like him.
Yeah.
And he at the end he has a chance to escape, and he gets an airliner costume again, and he
Yep.
sets out, and Tom Hanks says no one's gonna chase you, and that's why you're gonna come back. There's no one chasing you. You'll be back here by Monday, and he is. So maybe he really just loves the thrill of the hunt so much to the point that like he wanted to have this like antagonist chasing him.
Do you think he would have gone back to his wife?
No.
I don't think he would have. I mean, she did kind of narc him out.
That scene was also great though.
I don't think she knocked him out. I don't think she had a choice, really.
I don't.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, okay, because when he jumps out the window, yeah, he tells her to go to the airport.
Tell
But-
nobody about this. Go to the airport.
But also, Tom Hanks breaks in, and like
He sees her there.
She sees her there. Like she's not. Do you think she would have just lied for him when she
If
just
she
discovered?
did, they could have been together.
But she just discovered that she's been lied
If
to as
she
well.
did, she could have been together. That's all I'm saying. She technically did rat him out. Technically.
I mean, they're not together anymore.
There you
I
go.
guess.
I guess
what the
that
person,
leaves
the
a
person
mark.
he married wasn't her?
No.
Oh, okay.
I
He
guess
met his wife while working undercover for the FBI.
Oh, okay. Huh. I mean, I guess speaking of his first wife in the movie.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Faisal?
Was the wife even like real?
Amy Adams.
Or was no? I mean, like, was she a real thing, like a real life person, or was it just for
Were
the
you asking if
movie?
Amy Adams is real?
No, I'm asking if he means the character in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I assume so. Like the way you asked that, it threw me for a second. But yeah, it is played by Amy Adams, and I guess that's like
They're the same age, by the way.
Huh?
Leo and her are the same age. So it works
There's
out.
definitely a joke in there about Leo never looking back at her.
Probably.
For those who are not aware, Leo is infamous.
Oh, yeah,
for,
it is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Leo is infamous for dating women into their
25.
until they're 25, yeah, and then dumping them for a new younger woman. It's a very obvious trend.
Yeah.
So that's why he went and he went and found a second wife.
Yeah, I guess.
I was surprised that Amy Adams was in this movie. Apparently I just didn't read anything in the title card in the beginning.
You definitely didn't.
I was just looking at the animation. I didn't notice shit.
I was like, based off a true story? Nah.
Nah,
that's not
Amy
important.
Adams, nah. But I actually wasn't out aware of. I saw Christopher Walken's name in the beginning, and that's how I realized he was in the movie.
Oh, so you saw that part?
I saw that part. I saw Chris. I saw my own name, and I couldn't take my eyes
course.
off.
Of
yeah.
course, that's what it was.
Narcissist over here.
But it is a pretty star-studded cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's Tom Hanks, it's Leonardo DiCaprio, it's Christopher Walken, it's Amy Adams, it's who was the other one again, Tyler?
What, Walken, Adams, Martin Sheen?
Martin Sheen. That was who it is. So it's an overall. I mean, there's also who's the guy who plays Amy Adams' father?
Yep, Sheen.
Okay, it was Sheen. Oh my god, I'm having a day. It's like a great cast and a lot of really fun performances. And I'd also say that between the three movies we're going to talk about, this is the movie that is the most cat and mouse.
Yeah.
Because here it feels like there's a relationship between the cat and mouse. In one of the movies we're going to talk about, the cat and mouse have never even met.
Yeah.
And in the other movie, it's a little bit weird to kind of describe the dynamic between them. If
This
you can
one really
say it.
feels like a Tom and Jerry episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
actually.
just feels like one long Tom and Jerry episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you keep having, oh, so close, oh, I lose him again. So close, and then it escapes.
Yeah, it's like, what's the zaniest way I can escape him now? Okay, I'm gonna hire these 8 women from college and pretend that I'm gonna turn them into stewardesses. So
Yeah.
everyone's looking at them and no one's looking at me. It's like, man, that's a fucking cartoon plan.
And then they somehow all go on the flight, and everyone's like, oh, you were supposed to be here. It's like, wait, what? How they...
I think he just ditched him. He's like, ladies, just wait here, and then he just walks away. And just
Could
leaves
be.
8 women dressed as stewardesses confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was also probably the most lighthearted movie.
Oh,
by
it definitely
far.
is.
I don't think. I mean, outside of like Christopher Walken's character, nobody died.
Yeah.
Can't think at least of anyone else who died.
No.
Nobody
I'd
got
say-
like murdered in this movie.
No, there's
Which is,
no killings in this one.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
pretty lighthearted on that.
It's the easiest one to just throw on, really.
It's a good family movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
it's,
can have-
it's
yeah.
Spielberg. It's Spielberg. It's like
Actually, maybe not with that prostitute scene, but
Oh, it's so... that scene is so weird.
there's a couple scenes like that are just off.
But I mean, that one sticks out the most because, like it's after, it's like only like halfway, not halfway, less than halfway through the movie, he goes into this hotel and this woman notices that his car that he just bought is like it's a luxury car. And she's like, oh, is that your car? Yeah. Let's spend the night together. And then she brings up, like, how much would you pay for me? And then you basically find out that she's a prostitute.
yeah.
But the thing is, she's like, oh, you can't. He's like, all right, I'm going to go cash this $1,000 check. And she's like, you can't do that. And it's like, we knew that he could get these checks cashed anywhere. So, like, the point of the scene feels so weird if that was the point of
I
it.
mean, maybe
don't
it was
know
to
what the
introduce
point of it
the
was.
fact that, like, he's looking for, like, he's missing some kind of female attention or some shit.
But he had that scene, the
the
other
airline
sex scene.
stewardess.
That's what I'm
couple-
saying. I don't
yeah.
really know.
It does.
I'm
feel
trying to
weird.
justify it, but I can't really think of one.
It feels like something that you would have expected to end up on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
It's,
I don't-
already it's the longest movie we have here, and it both feels long and doesn't because it's
Yeah.
entertaining throughout. But at the same time, if you cut this scene out, you don't lose anything.
I wonder how the real Frank felt about this. You know, did he go and take his kids to see this movie and they see him like hiring a prostitute?
And that scene,
That's
That's when you just
That's
go,
an
yeah,
awkward
that didn't
ride
happen.
that one definitely didn't happen.
Honey, no, that's Spielberg. All Spielberg, I swear.
Honey, I didn't meet you then.
But you said this is probably the weirdest scene to you, or like the most off scene. I think the quiz opening scene
Oh yeah, that one
feels
too.
very strange, and I still don't know what the hell was going on with that.
Yeah.
The
No.
movie opens with like a game show where it's 3 people. The one is the real Frank, and then 2 people who also are saying that that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it just does that as a way to intro the movie, but at the same time, it never cuts back to that. So like, was
Yeah,
he
it was
on
like,
a game
it was
show?
like a one-off.
Yeah, I was like, was he on a game show after all this, or
I kind of forgot about that scene until you told me about it. Like I
'Cause
completely
it's so weird.
It's so off and like out there.
like I thought I was gonna be like, oh, is this just? I guess the second time I saw this movie, so I forgot about it entirely. I'm like, oh wait, did they use this to like repurpose the whole movie and then he keeps flashing back to the quiz show. It's like, no, he's just there for no reason and then never returns.
Were you thinking it was gonna be like Slumdog Millionaire? Like it was gonna cut from the game show to like moments.
That's
in his
my
life?
people.
Yeah, I mean, like, it would have worked fine to work in the movie, but they never did.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. It's just like there's moments like that are weird. Like this is I would say like there's also other things. Like in the first act, I noticed there were some scenes where it was kind of like there was like weird gaps between dialogue, like just like 1 second things, where it felt like maybe the editing in this movie was just a bit too loose for its own good.
Yeah,
It wasn't as concise as like the next two movies on our list by far.
You don't need to make the movie. It was like 2 hours and 30 minutes or something.
Yeah, I felt like you could probably shave.
You
it
could
to
have
10,
cut like
15
20 minutes off.
Yeah, you're being generous. You're just chopping at this film, Tyler.
Well,
right?
how long is that prostitute scene? Like 5 at least.
Yeah. Okay. Take the prostitute scene.
Quizzes at least 2, 3.
I feel like you need a new opener. Oh no, you can open just with Tom Hanks going to the prison, honestly, because it's like most of the movies flashing between like the past of Frank doing the crimes and the present of Frank being escorted back to the U.S.
Yeah, you could open the movie
You could
with
open
just
with
a
the prison scene, so you're shaving off at least 10 minutes there. But what other 10 minutes would you shave?
I mean, you said there's just a bunch of like dialogue points, so that adds you can cut off maybe 2 minutes.
Maybe. Okay, let's say you get rid of 2 minutes there. I think that the scene where like there's a scene where his parents are getting divorced and he's given this paper and they're like, sign here, and he runs away, right?
Yeah.
I think that scene is just weirdly edited. Like not to cut it, like you keep that scene obviously, but I think
you
it's just
can do
edited weirdly.
Yeah, you can do it a bit better.
Yeah, because it just cuts like it's like close up of his face.
Yeah.
And then
cut to
he's
him
running
running.
away.
Yeah, that just like I saw that and I was like, okay, that's
like wearing the same exact clothes. Like,
Yeah.
did he just walk out?
Yeah, it just felt like weirdly edited. And then also this movie, like not as a fault to itself, but I guess just compared to the other two, it doesn't have like as many unique, visually endearing shots.
No, cinematography is whatever.
Yeah, cinematography. It is exactly. It's whatever. Like it's purpose. It's like palatable or it does its job. But like when you watch it directly after the next two movies, it's like okay, I just saw some really nice looking shots.
Yeah, but
the
I mean,
other night,
And granted, at the same time, those other two movies won Best Picture. This one didn't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair. And again, this is a Spielberg.
Wasn't
movie.
even nominated for Best Picture, so.
Yeah. Well, what year was 2002?
It was
Was it
2002.
a good year for movies? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Well,
we're gonna.
2002 Oscars.
Yeah, actually, that's a good way to look at it. What did get nominated in 2002?
it's going to be 2003 Oscars because it's always the year before.
Oh, is it 2003?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Lord of the Rings was in 2002.
Classic.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings got nominated. Gangs of New York.
Which one? Ooh, that's a good movie.
And The Pianist was up for Best Picture, and the one that won was I missed Chicago. That's the one that won.
Yeah, Best Picture. Chicago.
Is Chicago
won.
that good?
Apparently.
I've never seen it, but like I have seen Gangs of New York. I have seen obviously Lord of the Rings, and I have not seen The Pianist. But God, Gangs of New York is a really good.
And then The
fucking movie.
Hours everyone forgets about, but apparently that's the
Dude,
one.
I've seen like none of these movies. Holy fuck!
I know there's a lot of stuff I have not seen from 2002 that got nominated.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the podcast. We're gonna have a 2002 Oscars category.
I mean,
2025.
With what? Lord of the Rings and Gangs of New York and one more, Pianist.
Sure, you just listed the three right there. I mean, I think we have Lord of the Rings somewhere else, but we could probably do The Hours then. You said.
I don't even know what the hell that movie's
I
about.
have no idea either. But okay, I guess there was some stark competition.
Sure.
Staunch competition?
Damn, Chicago won Best Sound too.
It's a musical.
Okay, we should watch Chicago at some point.
Yeah.
But
It's also the year Spirited Away one, so.
Oh.
Hey, it won so
Eh,
many things.
I
Yeah,
didn't
maybe
care
we
for
should
it.
watch this eventually.
Yeah,
it won a lot
I
of
didn't care for
shit.
Spirited Away though. But hey, that's just me.
It's a musical.
You know what? It is a musical. That is something worth keeping in mind for no real reason in particular. I swear. What else is there for Catch Me If You Can? Because like it is like the most light movie, so I don't think there's like a crazy amount. Honestly,
It gets that feel good ending at the end. That's really
that is true. It gets the
like-
feel good ending, like we said.
Yeah, he's
Which is-
captured and then gets to work at the FBI, like we said.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is something that our next movie doesn't have at all, which is Good Feelings. Because the next movie we're going to talk about is
No Country for Old Men.
Yep, No Country for Old Men.
The
Tyler,
two
I'll let
that-
you intro that.
The 2007 Best Picture winner, as well as three other awards. It's simply about a man who finds a drug dealer gone wrong. He finds a suitcase full of money, and the moment he takes that, he is being hunted by a psychopath. And that's the whole movie, really.
That is the premise
Yep.
for sure. I mean, this is a cold fucking movie.
Extremely cold movie.
And Tyler, I'm gonna bring this to you specifically because I don't know if we mentioned it on the podcast, but after we watched Akira in theaters, 'cause
We mentioned it.
I mentioned it on the podcast. Okay,
That it's cold. Yeah.
yeah. You and specifically you said it was like a very cold film.
Yeah.
and you were like, I don't know if I think you might have said, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, that you didn't know if you liked it as much because of how cold it was.
That's true. But
You
I mean,
love this movie.
Oh yeah, because No Country is cold, but at the same time, there's a reason for everything that happens. Akira, everyone dies just because of circumstance.
Yeah.
This, he takes the money, and because of that, shit happens. And Akira, the kids just run into the experiment, and then shit happens.
Okay. Well,
there's a.
I mean, you can
clear
make the
series of
argument he
events.
just runs into the shootout.
Which he does, but he doesn't need to take the money. He chooses to.
That's
I did
fair.
think this was a little.
There's more agency.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I felt like this was slightly colder.
I think it's
Akira.
crueler.
Crueler. All right, probably crueler. Yeah.
Like, I can understand Tyler's argument. Like, well, there's consequences here. Like, shit
Yeah,
just
yeah.
happens because like people
yeah, because
do
of
A
because
then
of a
B.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, it's a cruel fucking movie.
I mean, considering the fact the movie opened with Anton the killer,
yeah,
like choking somebody out.
that scene's fucking intense, dude.
He's handcuffed and just chokes the cop out on the floor.
The way that scene plays out is so amazing because one, he gets arrested, right?
He was arrested.
He's
yeah.
arrested in the beginning.
He gets the main antagonist, Anton Chigurh, is a psychopath. And
Chigurh, Tyler, please. He would be very upset if you said it that way.
Yeah, what did I say?
I heard just sugar.
No, I
Yeah,
said Chigurh.
I heard sugar.
My bad then.
Come on, Tyler, you're gonna get us all fucking killed.
Sure. Anyway, he gets arrested, and as the police officer is back at his desk talking to, I guess, his chief or somebody else, you just see him in the background calmly get out of his
Slowly creeping up.
get out of his handcuffs, creeping up to the cop, and
Well,
the last
he's
thing,
in his handcuffs still.
yeah, no, but
Yeah,
okay,
but
he gets
goes
it.
underneath like his legs.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's in front of him.
Yeah.
So his hands are in front of him, and the cop is saying to whoever was on the phone with, "Don't worry, I got it." And then he clearly does not get it because then he gets brutally choked out.
Right as the phone hangs up, he gets choked out. And honestly, that scene goes on for way too long.
in the best, but also worst way.
Worst way.
Oh.
Because like movies kind of depict like choking out as like kind of a quick thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It actually takes a while.
Yeah.
And they got it scarily accurate.
Oh,
Like,
it was really intense.
His face is just so wild.
yeah,
like pure ecstasy.
Yeah.
He's in heaven choking
so
this
much
guy out.
just villainy in his eyes, dude.
Yeah.
He's just looking straight up, and like you can see that like the fucking the metal of the
His boots. Oh no! Like you see the skid marks on the ground because
no the
Or
handcuffs.
The handcuffs
yeah.
like dig into his wrists.
No,
Yeah.
they're digging
Or-
into the guy's throat.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, they're carving into his
Yeah,
throat.
yeah.
I think he ends up probably bleeding out from his throat, like
More than
that's
choking,
what kills
you
him
know,
than the
eh.
suffocation.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
yeah.
the rupture of his fucking esophagus. It's
Yeah.
so fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anton is a brutal character.
Everything he does is like so maliciously calculated.
Yeah.
It feels so intense anytime he's on the fucking screen.
I mean, he was super scary to me because he was just straight up a psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently he is I think we saw this after we watched the movie. One of us looked it up. It was that he's like the most accurate depiction of a psychopath in film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's considered to be the most like just the most accurate portrayal period. And that's fucking terrifying.
It is terrifying
He's
because he was
scary as
terrifying.
shit.
Because
Because he had no reason for anything, really.
his reasoning's Tyler, this is your favorite movie. Explain to me Anton's reasoning.
I mean, he was just assigned to get the money back. Because he's like his whole thing is that he works for. They don't really go into what exactly his business is. They just know that he was hired to retrieve the money because wherever he works for, they knew this drug deal was happening, and they
Yeah.
also knew it.
They were
went
like
wrong.
higher ups that were involved in it.
Yeah,
Like
so
corporate Americans.
yeah, basically it was like
Yeah.
whatever. It looks like he was working like his higher ups are working for a bank that also fronts for like drug dealings.
Yeah.
So the deal goes wrong, and the money has a tracker in it, so they send Anton to go get it. But then, before that happens, the main character, Llewellyn Moss, he's just out hunting and finds the money. He finds the bunch of dead people on this money. So he grabs the money and decides, hey, this is my money. Like, I'm keeping this.
Fair.
And then he's also nobody in this movie is a dumbass.
Everyone's
really-
well, there's one.
his wife,
The grandma. The grandma who basically rats out where Moss's location is when he's hiding.
Oh yeah, but she has
Yeah.
no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
so.
She never liked him though.
Yeah, well,
But she has no
I
idea
don't
what's
like
going
her
on
either.
either. She has no idea what's going on either. So.
I guess, but just still, I don't know. Like, who does that? Who gives out information like that on the whim?
Yeah, fair.
I mean, I get like they show that she's talkative as hell because like she's like talking to the cab driver.
Yeah.
62 years. She's fucking like talking and all this shit. So like we know that she runs like with us, but
Yeah.
it's just very frustrating to see.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Between Llewellyn and Anton, and even the cop played by Tommy Lee Jones, nobody is an idiot. Those three are not idiots. They know what they're doing.
Yep.
So Moss takes the money, and he immediately tells his wife, hey, you need to go with your mother. I have a lot of money on me. Even if you don't believe that I have money on me, you should probably leave.
Yeah.
I know someone's going to be looking for this.
Yeah.
And then that someone is Anton.
Well, here's the thing that like confuses me a bit about Anton. So like later on in the film, the bank ends up hiring like these Mexican cartel members, they say, to get the money back, right? After it's taking a while.
Yeah.
And Anton takes that very personally. He says,
It's just the Jordan meme, and I took that personally.
Yeah.
He's like, you picked the right tool for the job, right? So then he goes and he kills the bankers and he does all this, right? But before that, like when he first goes to the shootout, he's with like these two higher ups.
Yeah.
And then he kills them both immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wait, so what is Anton's end game here? Has it always been about the money? Because he doesn't feel like a person who cares about the money.
That's the thing. Like,
because like if you say it's about principle, I'm a little confused as to why he killed those first two higher ups.
I think,
and if you say it's about the money, it doesn't feel like that really makes sense for Anton.
I think it's his principle, and I don't know, because his principle throughout the movie is that I was hired to do a job. And if I give you my word of something, I'm going to do it.
But then why kill the first
I mean,
two
I also
higher
think
ups?
maybe
That's what
he thinks
I
that
don't-
some people are
Yeah,
just
me neither.
destined to die.
I mean, I don't know about that. Like, he didn't flip a coin for them. Like, he flips a coin for people
didn't?
later on.
He might have done that as a way for him to have like no ties. Because, like, he was still going to do the job. I don't know if he actually cared about the money or not, but he was still going to do it. I guess this was a way as, he knows these two people know about him. And even and later in the movie, when Moss is in Mexico, he meets Carson, who's played by Woody Harrelson. And Woody said, Carson says that, Moss says, yeah, I saw him, you're not the guy. It's like, oh, you saw him, you alive? That's impressive. So maybe that just means every time he meets somebody who's not like his straight up boss, I guess,
Maybe
doesn't live.
I don't know, but that's also not the case because he'll flip the coin on randos. Like the gas station scene is one of the best scenes in the movie.
But that's straight up random people.
So I guess if they know his identity, he does kill Moss's wife, right?
Because
but
he
flips,
gave-
but he's willing to flip a coin for her, and she's aware of who he is.
Yeah, but
By your logic, he should just kill her right out.
So were those
Which
two
he did
people
anyway.
like?
Yeah, but that was because of the coin.
Were there?
No.
Well, in the book, it's because of the coin. This
the
is adapted off of a book, and in the book, she does make a call, and it's the wrong call, and she dies. In the movie, she says, "I'm not making the call," and then we know that he kills her at the end.
Yeah.
Of the shoes.
So then by that, he doesn't flip a coin and just kills her anyway.
I guess, but like you can make the assumption that if she did win the coin toss,
Well,
he
I
wouldn't
think-
have killed her, even though she knew who he was.
Yeah, because he goes by principle.
Well, exactly. Which then, why the fuck did he kill those first two people?
I think that maybe. I mean, I looked it up.
Okay.
Right.
What'd you
So
get?
from what somebody was saying was that he was called in by the unseen ringleader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which his main assignment is to recover the money, and then his second thing is to kill the guys because they're not part of the.
Yeah, it could be that too.
So this was part of the job, was to kill them.
Yes.
That makes way more sense. And then he just gets pissed because they picked the wrong, because they fucking kind of like go over his head by
And I
hiring
took
these
that
more
personally,
guys.
yeah.
And he took that person. You know,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
I respect it. I respect the guy with. Okay, that makes sense. It's all about principle now.
Yeah.
That helps me a lot.
And
Because
there's
that was like something that was like just bugging the fucking shit out of me
Mm.
all this time. I'm like, why the fuck did he kill them?
Yeah, I mean,
That
his
makes more
other
sense.
principle is that he doesn't believe himself to be a bad. I don't know if he doesn't believe himself to be a bad person, but everything he does, he puts it on chance. Like when he meets a few random people,
He's Two-Face.
Yeah, he basically does a Two-Face.
Two-Face
thing.
was played by Tommy Lee Jones in Batman Forever, featuring
Yeah.
Seal, Kissed by a Rose.
Yes.
So I'm not saying that we just went full circle, but
But we might have just went.
we
full
might have
circle.
went full circle.
Yeah, I mean that coin scene is the most famous scene in the
Oh,
whole
it's so
movie.
good.
You can basically just show that as a short film because it's based more or less nothing to do with the rest of the movie. It's just
Yeah.
the characterization
Yeah.
of Anton, because he's just talking to this store clerk and he gets slightly pissed off because the store clerk bought into or married into the business. He didn't really do it himself.
He was also asking questions at first. He's like, "Oh, where are you going?"
Yeah, but
It's
he
like,
was being
"Yeah,
like a
business
he
is
was
it."
like being like a friendly little
Yeah.
Southern person, you know.
Yeah, and
Friendly little
Anton
Southern person.
and
Yeah,
Anton does not
you
like
know.
small talk.
People
Yeah.
from the South are very friendly.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Historically, that's what the South is known for.
Sure.
I'm talking about right now, man.
Historically, right now, that's what the South is known for.
No, he's not. Yeah, no, he's not wrong. The South are supposed to be friendly.
Maybe
There's also the other part that you're
Yeah,
getting at.
There are also a lot of racist people in the South.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I'm saying like a
Not
lot
everyone
of,
in the South is racist,
I mean,
Chris.
Yeah.
hey, he this is an older white guy from the South, all right, and Chigurh had a
was
very
also
thick
white.
accent. No.
He's white.
I mean,
He just has an accent. I'm pretty sure because that's just
well, he is
Javier.
Hispanic.
Yeah, but I don't think
Not-
the character.
I don't think
You
in
know
the
the
movie-
characters?
His name's
Spanish?
Anton.
Yeah, his name's Anton Chigurh. So
Okay, that's fair. I didn't actually think about that. I just assumed because Javier in real life.
yeah, I don't think I don't think Anton's supposed to be Spanish.
Okay, maybe. Okay, well, okay, fair enough. I guess that was just a bit of a.
Yeah, and I mean like so. Yeah,
if you can find anything on that, though, I'm actually
Yeah,
very
I'm actually
curious.
trying to find out.
Because now I'm just like that. Just kind of threw me for a bit of a loop there.
he's definitely European. And
I guess the accent just fucking throws me because it's obviously like a very Hispanic accent. But either way,
Yeah.
that scene's fucking fantastic. And
yeah,
like,
because he's just talking to the clerk. The clerk's being nice, and then at some point the clerk definitely realizes that he's going to get killed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he comes. To the
That's why he's like,
conclusion.
I'm gonna close it. We're closing up shop now.
Yeah,
Look up the
And-
origin of the last name Chigurh and see if it gives you a country.
it'll be somewhere European probably.
We're gonna find out, Tyler. But I think the best like shot, because like I said, this movie has like really good shots, and so does the next one.
Yeah.
The best shot in the scene I think is like when he has like the bag of peanuts. He fucking like crushes them and he puts them on the table and then they unwrap slowly. I never thought about how the wrapping of a fucking bag of peanuts can give so much tension to a scene. Like just the slow expansion, the little sound every second. It's like holy shit, that was fucking brilliant.
And how much you ever lose in a coin toss.
Yeah. I mean, there is no higher fucking stakes.
Yeah, no,
I'll
that's
be honest with you, I can't really find. No,
damn
it's
it.
not very.
How about the Reddit post?
probably not that big of a deal to begin with.
Well, I'm very curious now, Tyler.
No, I mean enough of a Reddit post. I don't know like what they would go into.
Oh, well, I mean, hopefully someone just gives an answer.
Yeah.
Either way, a great fucking sequence. Just
Yeah.
super well directed. I mean, this movie is really well shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I like that shot, and then there's a shot later where Moss gets killed eventually by like Mexican cartel members. I don't think we mentioned that. He gets killed like in the last act of the film.
Yeah.
And then at one point, Tommy Lee Jones is going back to the murder scene to try and investigate. And he realizes the door has been shot open with like the pressurized air gun that Anton's famous for using.
Yeah, Anton's second. Well, no, his main weapon is that air pressurized.
Yeah, pressurized air weapon thing.
Yeah.
It's also very intense. It's very
Yeah.
worrisome. But like at Anton's seemingly in the room and he's looking at the reflection inside of like the keyhole to see that Tommy Lee Jones is there.
No, Anton's not looking.
It's just the camera shot, I guess.
It's just the camera shot.
Okay.
You just see Anton's eye, and he's posted against the wall as he's waiting for someone to open
yeah.
the door.
It's such a good shot.
Yep.
It's so like that shot stays in my head like since I watched it, like just how good that frame was, you know?
Mm.
And it's like then you just see the coin on the floor and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, he ran that coin for him.
Well, I mean,
That's how I took it. I don't know if that was intended, but it feels like when you see the coin on the floor, it's like, okay, you live, Sheriff, because of the coin toss and nothing else.
oh, you think? Okay, no, I thought you meant something else.
That's
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what the coin was for.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
thought.
that's
I thought you
what
were
I- that's what
disagreeing
I
with me.
assumed.
for
I
a
thought you
second.
meant that the coin was for Moss.
No.
Moss
Moss
died.
died from the cartel.
Yeah.
So that was completely like
Which
separate.
also like kind of his fault now, if you think about it.
The
The way Moss died.
Is the cop's fault?
No, it was his fault.
Oh, his own, you mean?
Yeah, because at the beginning of the movie he goes back to give the guy water, right?
Yeah.
After he takes the money.
Mhm.
If he never went back to give water,
Oh yeah.
the cartel would have never known that he was the one that took the money.
Yeah.
His sense of
But
morality.
if he, I guess a bit, I know what you're gonna say, but a bit on this. If he hadn't gone to put back the water, he wouldn't have gotten caught by like the cartel there.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying.
But if he didn't get caught by the
he still
cartel
would've
there,
gone
would he have
chasing-
run away? Because he
Yes.
wouldn't have realized he had the. He wasn't like he like for the first night that he got the money. He just like says he sits next to his wife. He's like, I found all the money, whatever. Don't worry about it. And then it's the next day that he starts freaking out a little bit. and
No,
then
but he
sends
also
her out.
told his wife to go away
In the first day?
right as he brought it. Well, once he brought it back.
Did he?
No.
Was it not once he brought it back?
See, that's what I'm
He
thinking.
brings it back. She says, "What do you have, money?" She says, "I don't believe you," and she thinks she's kidding. 'Cause
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah,
why
no one's
would
gonna
you?
believe you have $2 million.
Then he goes to sleep, and
Then he wakes up and
and
goes
like,
to get
and
the
he's
water.
like, "Shit, I'm gonna have to more or less save this guy."
But yeah, so then when he gets back, that's when he kind of starts like going on the run, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make a bit of broad assumption here that if he hadn't gone back and gotten caught by the cartel there at the shootout place, he would not have been as necessarily wanting to be on the run. And if he hadn't been on the run, he wouldn't have noticed the tracker and the money. And then Chigurh would have just killed him and his wife right there.
I guess.
You could-
Also,
yeah.
for
Which,
somebody
I mean, ultimately, all it does is prolong what would have happened
Yeah.
anyway.
Which
for somebody that's been very smart throughout the movie, Llewellyn was kind of dumb and never checking to see if there's a tracker.
I would have thrown away the
in $2 million.
case.
Like who? I mean, the case. It wasn't in the case.
I mean, it
though.
wasn't, but like,
in the money.
I would have. For me, I thought it was in the case.
but who?
tracker?
Yeah, like I thought it
Was
was
it
like
not?
embedded. No, it was like in the money. like
Yeah,
itself.
but
Well,
money in
I
the
thought it was
case.
like embedded in the case.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
no,
Like
no.
I would have dumped out
Yeah,
all the money
I would have thrown the case
and
out.
put it in a fucking bag and then threw the case off like a
But like,
fucking side
who
like you
doesn't
did.
check to see if there's something in $2 million?
Yeah.
Like if you find $2 million laying around, you should probably check it out.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd be.
you know?
I mean, I'd be fucking terrified if I found $2 million. Like we talked about this, like because you're saying he has an interesting sense of morality, right? So how about you go on that real quick?
His sense of the whole movie plays with morality and the whole idea of inevitability. So for the morality part, Moss sees this shootout gone wrong, this drug deal gone wrong. He sees a half dead cartel member. He's still alive. He's asking for water, and he doesn't have water at the moment, so he takes the money and leaves. And then at night he's like, "Shit, I feel bad. I need to go see if this guy's alive still."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he brought water maybe a little too late. It's like, why would he be alive like 12 hours later?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
10
this
hours
guy-
later?
But it was still weighing on his head, weighing on his mind the whole time.
It was.
Yeah, I know. It's just. I guess it is kind of funny. He's like, oh fuck.
It's
okay,
just
I'll
funny.
bring
It's
you
like,
your
fuck,
water."
maybe I'll go
Yeah.
now.
So like
10 hours later.
The man's dead.
So he's fine with because again, if you see a bunch of dead bodies and money, I would hope that you think like, oh, someone's probably gonna be looking for this.
I mean, you see a bunch of dead bodies, money, and a lot of drugs. It's like that Jeep was
do
filled
you
with drugs.
touch it or no? Do you
Huh?
touch the money then? Because you probably
Well, that's what I was gonna say because we talked about this when we were watching it, and it's like, ooh, it's tempting, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think that it's very understandable considering where he comes from.
I mean,
He
even
was
where
poor.
we come from, I'd be very hard pressed not to want to at least try with those $2 million.
But like, there's a chance that I wouldn't touch it because of the consequences, right? For
Yeah.
him, he felt like he needed to do it.
and
Yeah.
he felt like he could take on, and he was shown that he could take on most people. It's just that Anton is a fucking.
I mean,
psychopath.
Anton wasn't even what killed him at the end, though.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
he
but
could
even-
take on Anton. Like, that's not very, like, they have this big shootout in, like, the second
And
act
he
of the movie.
does
But take out
damage.
Anton out of the picture, you just got the cartel, and I think he can take the cartel more than
He didn't.
I don't think so.
I think
he
the
was
cartel just has more people.
Well, because he didn't expect the cartel. There's a difference.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Well, no, he
Like,
but
in a
I-
1v1, yeah, you're right. He can beat anyone, and Anton's, like, the tough one. But,
Yeah.
like, ultimately,
He's
you have a lot more
facing
luck
the
with
whole
one
cartel.
killer than an organization.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. But Anton doesn't stop.
Well, yeah, but he also nicked him in the neck. Like he got like when they had the shootout, he got Anton pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Anton had to like actually retreat and hold back. He wasn't able to just keep fighting him. Like,
Mm.
in a straight up continuous fight, it would have been like hard pressed, but it would have been closer. You know what I mean? Like he could potentially have killed Anton because he almost did it.
Yeah.
He was clever and he was able to kind of like bait him out in certain ways that Anton just I guess wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Like Moss was a hell of a fighter.
Yeah.
He just got you can't really beat an organization that's going after you like that.
Yeah. I mean, they also kind of caught him off guard because they just swarmed his hotel room, and he can't go anywhere when it's a one room.
Yeah.
You know, I did kind of like that. It was just like an off scene. Like
Yeah.
you don't see it at all.
Yeah. 'Cause
I'm
that
torn.
goes into Anton. Anton talks with Moss once or twice over the phone,
Mhm.
and at one point he says, "You know how this is gonna end. Like you already know the ending of this."
Mhm.
And he's right. The ending of this is Moss dies.
Yeah, I mean you're not wrong. I do know that like you're saying like you like how it kind of cuts away and he's just dead.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit torn with that because I feel like this category is all cat and mice, right? But this movie is the one that it doesn't necessarily feel it has like the highest peaks of like cat and mouse, like
Yeah.
especially the shootout with Moss and Anton. But then like once Moss dies, it's not from the cat, and then it's just kind of the cat cleaning up shop for the next like act of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, it kind of falls a bit weird for me. Like I would say, like I haven't seen a lot of Coen Brothers movies. You say a lot of Coen Brothers movies are things just happening, and that this is probably one of the ones that they have with the most like actual narrative.
Most of Coen Brothers movies are shit happens. Like
Yeah.
Big Lebowski.
Yeah,
Is a
I don't care for Big
series-
Lebowski.
Yeah, like that
It's
one.
okay.
Most of the movies focus a lot on the characters and just the shit happens around them. Not around them, but like just shit happens. It's
Yeah.
not more of a traditional narrative.
Yeah, I think that just kind of ultimately like hurts the experience of it to me.
But again,
like,
this is the one with the most.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, God, when we get to I don't know
But
anything
I think
else
that
they
maybe
do.
this isn't just because of the Coen brothers. I feel like maybe it's also because it's that book adaptation.
Yeah, it's also.
Well,
the
I
book,
think that's what probably gives it the most narrative.
Well, yeah, it gives it the most narrative, but like you're saying that it still feels kind of lost, right? Or like there's not much narrative.
Yeah, like it did. This feels like we're watching a series of events and
Yeah.
not, I guess, a traditional story.
Because I think the whole point is like the book tells it in the point of view of the sheriff.
Yeah.
The sheriff's the narrator.
That
right?
I think is what ties it together.
It's
yeah.
like almost impossible to do that in a movie.
Yeah, like he has like his opening monologue.
And
And he
ending
has the
monologue.
end-
And he
the
has
end
a
monologue.
couple scenes scattered around.
Yeah, but he doesn't feel like a narrator. He kind of feels almost like
A side character.
a side character, or even something, maybe a vessel for the story,
Yeah.
but not really like a
But-
narrator or a through line.
But that works in the case of the story because his narrative is that the first monologue he does at the beginning is saying like, was basically him saying when he wanted to be a cop, he realizes he's gonna see terrible things.
Mm-hmm.
There are terrible people in this world, and that there are others who are going to try and stop them, even if it might be futile.
Yeah,
And and then at the end he quits, he retires because he realizes, these people like the cartel, these people like Anton, I can't beat them.
yeah. Again, I think that still just plays into not really having a traditional like narrative per se.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to the other two, this movie is way more it has way more theme heavy with
I
themes.
don't agree with that.
You think?
I mean, it is theme heavy. Don't get me wrong,
Hmm.
but I think that Silence of the Lambs is also incredibly theme heavy.
Yeah, but
That's the
then-
next one.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
I mean,
There you go.
the listeners read the title of the episode. They can guess.
I mean, yeah, okay, whatever. I can.
Yeah, it's not really a spoiler when they. What are we watching today?
Why do we do that? We're like, yeah, we have 2 other movies. Oh, we won't tell you what it is.
I don't know. You're the only one who
We gotta
does
keep
that.
this. Yeah, actually,
You're the only one who does that.
I only do it because you do it.
Yeah, I don't do that at all.
All right, no, yeah, we're doing Silence next. Damn it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, for this, really, you think Silence has more themes? Because no country has the themes of inevitability, morality, nihilism, because nothing really mattered because he was going to die anyway, which I guess goes with inevitability.
Yeah.
I mean, Silence has what? Metamorphosis, perception, the use of eyes, and it's very clear in that. You know, there's a bit of religious imagery, but that's necessarily thematic.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I just came to mind. I mean, probably the biggest one's obviously metamorphosis and perception, or perception and perspective, really. A bit of the two. I think those 2 are the largest ones, but I think it's done very thoroughly in Silence. In here, I guess like the overarching narrative falls into like randomness versus predetermination. But
It was random, so they found the money, but it was predetermined that we'd die.
yeah, because no matter, even if he took, like, unless he didn't take the money,
Yeah.
is the only way he wouldn't have died. But I don't know. Again, I think there's something about No Country for Old Men that doesn't click super well with me.
And that's fair.
How about you, Faison?
I'm sorry, I zoned out real quick. I was looking something up on my phone to talk about, and I just zoned out on what you said.
Oh, you know, I can respect that you were looking for something up to talk about. But like, so how do you feel like? I guess like
Did this
like
movie
I
hit
said,
for you?
Yeah, like I said that this movie doesn't necessarily hit for me, and it very much hits for Tyler. So you're the odd man out. How does it hit for you?
He's thinking it over.
He's mulling it in his mind.
I think it doesn't hit for me.
Oh, 2-1.
I mean, that's fair.
I think it is. I think this is definitely not an for everybody movie.
Yeah.
No.
I still think it's a good movie.
It is a very good film. Like on a technical level, this is probably the best of the 3 by far in terms of like shots, its use or lack thereof of music.
The fact that
The lack of music was
is
great.
great.
Yeah, like
Because it's just so. I mean, especially the shootout scene. The shootout scene starts with Moss finding the tracker, and he's in the hotel room. So, and he told the hotel clerk, like, "Hey, call me when anybody comes in. No matter what, call me when someone's in."
Yeah.
And then he hears the tank, the air tank, and then he calls the clerk. Clerk doesn't answer. He's like, "All right, clerk's probably dead." So he turns off the light. You still hear footsteps. You still hear the tank, and you just see the shadow under the floor, not under the floor, under the door
Yeah.
of Anton. And then he leaves again to turn off the light because he knows that he's watching. He knows that Moss is waiting for him there.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of directing, like this movie pretty much blows everything else today out of the water.
Oh yeah.
But I do think this, like, in terms of I guess the story itself, that's where it doesn't hit super well with me. But there was something you wanted to talk about, the Oscars. There's something like
Oh,
you have
yeah,
the
for
Oscar
this-
written down here.
Yeah, this movie
Yeah.
won Best Picture in 2007 against There Will Be Blood, which I don't think was right. I love this movie. I just think There Will Be Blood is not much better. It's just better, and that's hard because both of these movies are considered masterpieces.
Okay.
But No Country and There Will Be Blood were filmed at the same time in very close proximity to each other. So you have time. The stories of like, yeah, we're filming this movie, and Daniel Day-Lewis is on a bike just riding through. And then at the other side of that, No Country's like, yeah, we can't shoot this scene today. The fucking oil rig over there, they're gonna blow it up for There Will Be Blood, so we gotta wait.
I like to think that the real cat and mouse story is the Coen brothers and Daniel Day-Lewis. They're
Yeah.
just fucking with each other on set.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Just trying to screw with each other.
Yeah.
That's a fun movie. You know what? I want a movie like that. I want a movie where two directors are making two different movies in very close proximity and they're just fucking with each other
Yeah.
over and over.
I feel like that's what they were doing.
Basically.
yeah.
like you don't think some of those were purposeful?
I mean, I'd like to think.
What,
I'd like
Daniel
to hope.
Day-Lewis on a bike going through...
Yeah.
You have like a really tense scene
There's
where
the lead
Anton's
in-
about to shoot someone, gunning someone down on the floor, and just Daniel Day-Lewis biking back.
Yeah, there's literally a scene of Daniel Lewis as Daniel playing through, just riding a bike in the background.
Sounds like a fun time, honestly.
Yeah.
I think like also in terms of performance, I think this movie is like also the best of the three in terms of
Yeah.
like the whole cast. Because like
I
I
agree.
think there's one performance between all three these movies that's like better, and that's Hannibal Lecter in Silence.
You
But
think that's the
that
best
is
one?
just
I think that's the
him.
best performance period.
Like individual.
Yeah, but just him in this
Yeah.
movie. Like Moss is played by Is it Joseph Brolin or Justin Brolin?
Josh,
It's close.
Close enough.
come on, man.
I
You
had
don't
the
know
J.
Thanos.
I had
You
the J.
don't know Thanos.
It's bad that I was initially thinking.
Wait, is
Cable.
that him?
yeah, it's Thanos.
No way.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
also Cable in Deadpool.
Yep.
Yeah,
Which is
I
what
know
I
that.
always think of him first.
That's what I thought. Just because Thanos, he's fucking purple.
Man, I want
Yeah.
good X-Men movies again.
Yeah, again, I mean, last one was Logan, if you count that as an X-Men.
Yeah, I count it.
Oh.
Logan's really fun. Yeah, but like his performance in this is really great. Obviously, Anton, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson's for a short time, but still really good. Moss's wife, she's actually fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
in this.
really good.
Yeah,
she's
she is.
really good in
And
this.
she's barely on screen.
yeah,
Yeah.
she doesn't have that much time here, but
I mean, her
she's
last
really good.
scene where she's denying Anton the
The coin flip.
Oh,
coin
yeah.
flip, so he has to actually make the choice to kill her, is great.
Yeah.
Like that's probably okay. Best favorite scene of the movies. Like it's hard to pick in this movie. It's hard to pick because instantly I think about the gas scene the most.
The coin flip, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that scene as well. Damn, that's good.
That's
What, the
good.
end scene?
No, well, the one where he decides if he's gonna kill her. Or
Yeah,
not.
with her, I mean.
Yeah, like so right before the actual ending.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, my
it's really
top
good.
three? Well, no, for me, it's either the coin flip or the shootout.
Yeah, I thought the shootout
Shootout's
was
good.
very
Because the
good
shootout is
too.
basically silent. I mean, besides, obviously, the guns going off.
But it's silent
Yeah.
without
No
just
dialogue.
gunfire.
Yeah,
There's no dialogue except
Yeah.
for one instance where Moss grabs a trucker to help him escape, and then he immediately gets
just
shot.
blown
Yeah.
off, yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. And I think on that note, we can talk about the ending specifically.
The ending is very, I wouldn't say ambiguous. It goes back to Tommy Lee, the cop. He's retired, and he's talking with his wife about two dreams he had.
No, I'm sorry. I zoned out for a second. I meant before that with Anton in the car accident.
Oh, that, yeah. I mean, all right, go for it then.
Basically after he shoots Moss's wife, he's driving away and he just gets into a car accident.
He gets hit by a car.
Pure dumb coincidence.
His arms, the bone sticking out of his arm, like
Yeah, oh god, yeah, it's not a very pretty
Yeah.
picture. But yeah, no, it's just pure coincidence. Though.
it feels like some kind of consequence for
It feels karmic, right?
for killing Moss's wife without flipping the coin.
Yeah, because he always says, that's a great way to look at it. Actually, he always says like, "Oh, this coin got here the same way that I did."
He's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
It just
I'm not
came here."
killing you. The coin decided that you were wrong, so.
Yeah, but in this scenario, he didn't flip it, so he
Yeah.
walks out, gets hit by a car, and that's the most injured we see him throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, throughout the whole movie, he's just this, like, he's basically the unstoppable killer. Like, no matter what, he's going to keep coming. And now you actually see him. It's like, oh, wait, he's
But
not.
like everything
this
he
monster.
does, there's like a reason behind it.
Yeah.
Or like the coin decides it.
Yeah.
And then this was the one where it doesn't.
And then
And right as it happens, he gets hit by a car.
I hadn't looked at it that way till you mentioned it. That's actually pretty interesting. I like that. That like it's almost this karmic thing. Part of me would have wanted him not to be like not to limp out or not to make it out of this because like he at the end he limps out. He makes a little cast out of a shirt, and he kind of like he limps away.
But it's
He's-
funny,
he currently is the one who has the money at that point.
But he also keeps like that exchange idea that he has, right? Where he pays the kids for the shirt,
Yeah.
right?
Again, it's principle to him.
So like even though he broke that same principle like 30 seconds ago or like a couple minutes ago, after he gets hit by the car, he keeps it.
Can we look at that car scene? Did he run a light or anything?
No, the light's green.
Light screen for him.
The
So
other guy,
because
yeah.
I was thinking like because like it's the
They
coin is
purposely show the light that's
Okay.
green.
because the coin is so compulsive for him, right?
Mhm.
Like he seemingly like especially when like he's with Moss's wife and she doesn't like want to pick the head or tail.
Yeah.
He's like shaking. He's like fiending. It's really compulsive for him to get this coin flip done, you know? So it almost feels like I was thinking maybe, maybe
the light's green.
light screen.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he just
And then
Somebody
the
else
other
runs
guy
it.
runs it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pure like
I was thinking maybe he was like so I guess I guess, like frayed from not being able to fill that compulsion that he took a stop sign or took a light or something. But no, the other person most certainly just fucking took a light and hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I like that look at it though, that it was kind of a karmic thing.
It was like
happens.
karmic justice.
Yeah, I kind of do enjoy that. Although I said this even when we watched it, I'm not sure how much I enjoyed the fact that he limps off and he probably gets away with it. Like you could maybe say that the cops get him, but like that's a bit. It's supposed to be ambiguous, but it feels like a bit of a stretch to make that assumption here.
Yeah.
Like because you don't even see the cops in view, you hear them. But like if you saw one driving up, then I'd be like, oh no, it looks like they get him.
No,
but
they don't get him. He gets away.
He just walks away, and you assume that he just does that.
Yeah, so I don't know how I feel about that. But you now talk about the actual ending that I forgot about.
The very last scene, Tommy Lee Jones is retired. He's talked to his wife about 2 dreams he had the night before. In the first dream, he's describing a time where he's with his he's describing a time where he said he lost money his dad gave him.
Yeah,
which could be referring to like what Moss did throughout the movie, or like something with Moss because the money and then him losing money.
Okay.
So, but then the dream he remembers more is that he was with his father, and he says that his dad he said that he's older than his dad when he died. So he at his age now, he's older than his dad. So in the dream, he sees his dad as a young man. So they're riding through the snow, and his father goes a bit ahead on his horse to make a fire. And then he says that I'll wait for you. And then his dad is a bit ahead of him, and he sees his fire. But Tommy Lee Jones is still riding toward him. So you can either go for like, oh, that's like
death,
either death or his dad, because his dad was a cop too, and he was the one, and he was the one who basically like told them about like being hopeful and good people and shit like that. So it could be that the fire is either death or the fire is like, oh, you'll be with me, you will have hope again. Because right now he's lost. He has no hope because he knows the cartel and Anton won.
It does. I guess both of those kind of work really well. What the fuck are you doing, Faison?
You need the charger.
I was trying to make it, like, not say, hey, Tyler, can you pass me the charger? And you just fucking called me out on it.
I'm sorry.
No, dickhead move.
I thought you were like typing something on the computer over there, but like in a very weird way. I was very
I was trying to make it not a thing. Tyler got it. I got it.
I couldn't tell what that.
I was trying to make sure it wasn't a big thing, and now you made it a big thing.
Nice job.
Continue with what you were saying.
I don't know which of the two I prefer. I guess like at first it feels like death immediately when you think about it. But I do like. I mean, the father's literally holding the torch.
Yeah.
So I can see it in both ways. It's interesting. I think that's probably the best way to sum this movie up. It's interesting, but I don't think it hits super well.
That's fair. Because again, this is the most narrative that a Coen Brothers movie have compared to the other ones when it's just shit happens. I mean, Burn After Eating, shit happens. Fargo is totally shit happens too, even though that one has a more clear-cut narrative. For me, Coen Brothers are hit and miss. I think from what I saw, they have more hits than misses. I straight up just don't like one of the movies, even though I know it's good.
Yeah.
So.
All right, this movie might not hit the spot, but you know what does hit the spot? Some liver with fava beans.
Chris, you trying to tell us something?
Y'all ever eat a person?
No.
I mean, neither.
Can't say I have.
So,
how many people in your basement?
Silence of the Lambs. A movie that needs no introduction, but I'm going to try anyway. It's really good. Basically, it takes place in the, I want to say 70s? Feels like 70s. Takes place in, let's pretend it's the 70s for now.
I will let you know in 2 seconds.
Continue
talking.
So. I think 78.
Okay, let's pretend 70s, where there is a killer on the loose by the name of Buffalo Bill, who murders women in their early to mid-20s and skins them alive. And at the start of the movie, he has already killed 5.
80s.
Takes place in the 80s. He's already killed 5, and the FBI is on the hunt for this serial killer. Brand new FBI, not even FBI graduate. She's technically still a student.
She's still
Clarice.
a student, yeah.
She's sent by the police commissioner to talk to a extremely famous serial killer by the name of Hannibal Lector, a cannibal, to try and get his insight on the case and to see if they can get any information that they can use to capture Buffalo Bill. It's just, mostly just to see if he will talk to him.
Also a former psychiatrist.
A former psychiatrist turned psychopath.
Yeah.
Well, he was always a psychopath. Come on.
Or did he metamorphosize?
You can do it. You can do it.
Metamorphosize.
Okay,
Metamorphosize into one. Did he, Tyler?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the premise of the movie. And basically, the cat and mouse game is between Clarice with the council of Hannibal Lecter as she hunts down Buffalo Bill and tries to prevent another murder of the daughter of a Kentucky senator, I think, or maybe a Tennessee senator. One of those
It's a
states.
senator.
It's a senator.
I think it was Tennessee.
Yeah, I really like this movie. Ooh, I really like this movie.
like this movie.
Oh
too.
yeah, it's easy to like. I mean, any scene with Hannibal is just so well done from Anthony Hopkins' acting.
Oh yeah, Anthony
Yeah.
Hopkins fucking kills it in this movie.
Mm.
I mean, that first meeting.
It's so it's like I think that actually is still my favorite scene in the movie. That first meeting. Like
Yeah.
everything about it. Like she's
Yeah.
walking down this corridor and he's just standing there. And it's like he's always been standing there and he's just been standing
He's just
there
been
waiting for her.
knowing
this
that she
whole
was gonna
time.
come.
Yeah. It's so good. Like he's just he always feels so all-knowing almost, you
Yeah.
know? Like he already knows everything. He already knows the case. Since the moment he's been standing there, he already knew who Buffalo Bill is.
Yep.
He knew what Clarice was going to ask him. He's just waiting for her to make a deal.
Yep.
He's waiting for her to give him what he wants. It's like it's so I guess like deeply intimidating.
Very intimidating.
I mean, he doesn't blink at all throughout the movie when he's on
Oh, yeah.
screen.
I mean, Hannibal Lecter, like this, and this is true. This is not just my normal, craziness. It is like he is loosely, like, given off the aesthetic of a vampire, because in the books
Yeah.
he's actually a count as well.
Okay.
He's Count Lecter, and like he eats human flesh, and
Yeah.
he likes the taste of blood, and he with that in mind, he has this almost like hypnoticness to him. Like when he's talking, you
You wanna
cannot look
listen.
away. Like,
Yep.
there's like a twisted charismatic. Like it's not charismatic, and you're like, oh, I like this guy. It's charismatic. Is like I can't stop listening to you, even if I tried.
Which
Yeah.
Like a
I think
hypnotism.
that probably ties into the fact that he was a former psychiatrist.
Almost certainly,
right?
yeah.
He knows how to fuck with people.
Yeah, he knows
Yeah.
how to talk to people.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. He knows the words.
Just
Like
those subtle like things to say that
Yeah.
will make the person do what he wants them to do.
Yeah.
And it's not even like he's like really putting on like a show of like super kindness. Like the first time he talks to Clarice, he's being a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what he needs to be in this situation. And like everything about he has like this mastery over words. Like he literally talks the person into killing themselves in this movie.
Oh yeah.
He talks a person into dying by swallowing their own tongue. So not even like a painless death, like a truly agonizing one.
Yeah.
Hannibal Lecter is done so fucking well.
Very
Absolutely
well.
terrifying.
It's every scene of him is just, even the ones that aren't just him talking with Clarice. Like there's multiple scenes where they're just talking to each other throughout his prison cells, either the first one or the second one. And I mean, my favorite scene of the whole movie is his breakout scene.
That's a great scene.
Yeah.
I do like it's I think it's the most violent the movie gets to, like at all.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most intense moment.
Yeah, he lures two cops. Like the cops are bringing him his dinner, and they obviously have to handcuff him to put the plate in the cage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then he breaks out because he still had a pin. He had some sort of pin that made him break out of the handcuffs, and then he eats part of a guy's face and then beats to death the other guy.
Yeah.
And then to the guy he ate part of his face, he then cuts his face off to use as a mask, and that's how he breaks out.
Yeah. It's really fucked.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like everything about that scene is like fantastic, his breakout, because he just basically is toying with the cops the whole time. He's like, oh, the elevator stopped here. Oh, wait, now it's going back again. And the cops, they can't do shit. Like they're not moving. They keep like half saying orders and then resending the orders because they're just like watching this elevator go up and down. It's like it's literally like they're animals. He's just playing with like a string. He's,
Yeah.
like, just toying with them for fun while he waits for them to fall into his trick.
Yep.
So are they the cat and he's holding the string?
Yep.
They're the cat. Yeah, I mean, no, he's not the cat or mouse in the story.
He's the human.
Yeah. like truly, like if anything, Clarice is the cat chasing after Buffalo Bill. So that's the cat and
Yeah.
mouse story. He's I don't want to call him the dog. That's a
he's
disservice.
the person.
He's
Like,
the person. Yeah, he's the
he's
person
the owner,
who's like
the cat owner.
yeah. He's just putting a little bit of catnip on Clarice and
Yeah.
pointing to the mouse occasionally.
Mm.
It's Anthony Hopkins is fucking crazy good.
Yeah.
Like his facial control, like he controls like every little muscle in his fucking face.
Yeah.
So
Again,
good.
doesn't, but I mean, everyone talks about how if you count up the minutes he's in the movie, apparently it's like less than 15 that he's on screen.
It's insane how much of an impact he leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like he's the main character.
It does, which I think actually it ends up being a little bit to the detriment of the movie. I'll get to that in a second because actually I still have there's so much to say about Lecter.
I mean, you can do that right now because for me, like, I obviously like the movie. I think it's amazing. But the problem for me is when I watched it the second time the other night, I only remembered the back half of the movie or any scene that Hannibal is in.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first hour of the movie, like Hannibal's obviously there, but they go into more of Clarice's stuff of her trying to find Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
So those scenes, I'm like, I don't really remember that scene. I didn't remember the scene where Bill gets his next victim. I'm like, I don't remember that. It's like, oh wait, I remember why. It's because Hannibal's not there.
Yeah,
That's fair.
the first half is very forgettable because
I don't know if I'd say
I
that
wouldn't say
exactly.
forgettable,
Yeah.
but I think that Hannibal is like such a like well thought out character or
Yeah.
like well done.
Yeah.
Is that those scenes stick out the most, and then everything else kind of just blurs.
It's like, I want to go back to Hannibal.
I can agree with that. No,
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. Like, to a degree, that's part of my problem with it. I'm gonna say because that problem is gonna be a bit of I'm gonna rant. So let's save that till we get all the other stuff out of the way.
Skip 2 hours
Yeah, yeah.
forward.
Yeah, we'll give you guys a timestamp. If this video passes an hour and 40 minutes, you know that things went very wrong, very fast.
We're going to be prying Chris away from the mic.
Just grabbing it. But like in terms of still Hannibal, because there's so much to talk to about him. I love how on so many scenes there's a literal light in his eye. Like there's they reflect a little bit of like light from the lens behind the camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's intentional. It's always there, except for the moments where like he's kind of showing who he really is. Specifically, there's a scene the second prison cell that he goes to in Washington, right?
Okay.
And he's talking to Clarice. At first, for most of the scene, that same light is being reflected in his eye again, except when he starts telling Clarice like, "Tell me about the lambs. Tell me about the farm upstate."
Yeah,
the
yeah.
light completely disappears from his eyes,
Mm.
and it's just like
I
he
didn't notice that.
He
Neither
goes
did I.
right. He goes to like who he really is. It's like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
cold, like inner darkness really shows out.
That
There's no
cold
longer that
psychopath.
shine.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's fucking creepy. That's
Yeah, yeah.
such a small thing, but I love it. And like, there's so much, like, even in that same scene, like he's behind the bars, but the way that it's shot, like when you look at the bars from his perspective, they almost look like concurved. I think it's like inwards, so it
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
like he's outside of the bars. And then on her, it looks like they're concurving out. They're concave, convex. I don't remember the difference. It looks like they're pointing outward, so that she looks like
She's the
behind
one in
bars.
the
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just these small details that are so good when they're done around Hannibal. Like, it's clearly that was the director's favorite part of this book. Like, he wanted to do stuff involving Hannibal.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't really care for Buffalo Bill, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could have just done this movie as really a bottle movie where it's just multiple conversations with Hannibal. You
I mean,
could have just done
it's
that.
another adaptation of a book.
Yeah.
So, like, that couldn't technically be done, but, like, a movie of that format could be.
Yeah.
I get what you mean, yeah. Any other points on Hannibal before we probably talk about Clarice? He's great. You
great.
know what? I'm gonna just he is the devil. You know, like not literally, but like
No,
he has
literally,
the-
basically the devil. Literally the devil.
like he has like
come on.
I mean, you can
Yeah.
make the argument that like a lot of like vampire myths stem from the devil as well.
Yeah.
So like there's like a lot of natural overlap,
Okay.
but like he has that satanic Lucifer Morning Star aesthetic.
Yeah. I mean,
you know?
Clarice making a deal with him.
Yeah, I was talking
is
about this
basically
earlier.
making a deal with the devil.
Yeah, because like I
Uh-huh.
talked, there's religious symbolism in this movie. I talked to Tyler about it. I'm not gonna go too far in it. You know, some of it.
Oh, yeah?
Some of it's a bit out there, if we're being honest.
You're on that rickety bridge.
Listen,
Let's
no. There's obvious religious symbolism.
Let's see if you
here.
can take the right steps so the
Okay,
bridge
so,
doesn't collapse here.
One of the first things we see is when he's doing his breakout, he literally crucifies a guy.
Okay, yeah,
That's a blatant.
that's the one most obvious one. The cop is
I would say
strung
actually
up.
the most obvious one is he has a literal drawing he does of Clarice as like Jesus, and she's holding the lamb,
Now,
and she has the halo around her.
no,
neck.
I'm agreeing that
Oh,
it is.
okay, I was about to say
I'm
you're-
agreeing that's religious imagery, but compared to the crucifixion of the cop, the crucifixion is on screen for longer than that picture, isn't it?
I feel like this is more blatant though, because it's like a very famous religious image, and there's even like
What, the
there's
cop
five-
or the
the image, the drawing. Because there's even like there's the 5 crosses in the background, which seem to be representative of the 5 deaths that Buffalo Bill has killed so far. So like that's a very obvious piece, and you know, Silence of the Lambs. She wants to save the she couldn't. Clarice was not able to save a lamb from the slaughter as a child, so
Yep.
she became an FBI agent to be able to save these people. These are the lambs, right? These girls who are getting murdered, and she wants to save this girl. And once the girl's saved, that'll be the silence of the lambs, right? No more screaming.
No more screaming, yeah.
Yeah. You know, and you know, there's obviously like Lamb of God is a very popular religious thing. You know, there's a lot in there that's said. And like I said, Lucifer is very, very, very devil. He's very much the devil, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And even kind of like I said earlier, he's almost omnipotent. It feels like he knows everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's aware of everything about this case, and you have to basically sell him a part of yourself. Like Clarice has to sell him her past,
Yeah.
her trauma and her experience, if you want to get something out of him. That's the deal with the devil you make. And at one point, the point that it jumped a little bit of the shark before when I said it. I feel like this might just because of like, snakes are always depicted as like cunning yet villainous.
We're just slowly starting to move.
Okay. Snakes are always depicted as very cunning yet villainous. It kind of felt like a lot of Hannibal's portrayal is kind of serpentine, snake-like.
Like, this is
that
where
that
you
might just
lost
come
me.
from.
That's when one
Because
plank of the bridge breaks off.
I didn't really feel like that was the case.
I think a lot of that might just stem from like snakes are portrayed that way. Like anytime
Yeah.
you see a snake in like a movie, it symbolizes either like cunning or villainy, right? Or usually a bit of the both. And those words very much describe Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
So it might just be that kind of like that cultural osmosis of those terms making me think that.
I think you lost me when you started going into like him stretching his S's out.
Which
It felt like he did. I mean, he
I
does the
didn't-
one
I
sound.
didn't
He does
really
the one
think-
fava bean scene.
but that's
Yeah, but
not.
that's just him being weird.
That's just him being there to freak you out. It's not him. Being,
I think I don't know. Like even when we looked up Hannibal Lecter's snake ? That scene was the first thing that popped up.
Yeah, but that's just
again,
him
that's just
slurping.
him doing a sound that he did when he
I
ate
do-
someone's liver.
I do think it feels like there is a little bit of serpentine there. Hey, I get that you guys might not agree with me. I feel like that's there. And like, the devil snake, that's a direct line. Like in the Bible, the devil turns into a snake at one point and offers knowledge to a woman. It's like that's just I don't know. You guys said that was where I jumped. I feel like there's a bit of a through line there.
There could be. I just don't agree with it.
I got a 0.5 from Faison.
You
I'll
got
take
halfway
it.
through the bridge.
I got halfway through the bridge. I'll take it. That was a lot better than I did like last week.
Yeah.
No, 2 weeks ago. A lot better than I did 2 weeks ago.
Where he just lost.
Where
us
I
on
just
fucking
lost
Moana.
everybody. This time,
Yeah.
I made the point.
that was about 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Technically, yeah. Now on to Clarice. Clarice obviously gets a bit overshadowed by Hannibal, just because everything
Yeah.
gets
I
overshadowed.
think,
by
everything
Hannibal.
gets
Like that's
overshadowed by
it's not
Hannibal.
not like and not any fault of Clarice. She's probably the second best character in the movie.
I mean, the main killer is Buffalo Bill, and like
You don't really.
he
well,
might
yeah.
he might be he might be the worst character in the movie.
I have
Yeah.
lots.
Like-
I have things to say. Here we go for that later. So not here we go. But like Clarice, I think she gets like a pretty good amount of like backstory, a good characterization, a pretty decent understanding of like why she is the way she is.
Yep.
Between either her father dying or her not being able to save the lambs, and you also kind of can get a sense of why Hannibal Lecter is willing to talk to her.
Yeah, and it's like so interested in her.
Yeah, like he does see I'd say he sees a little bit of himself in there.
Yeah.
In terms of like she has that ambition and
Yep.
that drive that he has and that he appreciates.
Yeah. Like before he went batshit.
Yeah. Well, or I mean, even now,
Or even when he was-
even
when-
as
yeah.
he's batshit, right? Like she shares that same drive with him,
Okay.
and that's why that's something he appreciates out of her, and that's why he's willing to communicate with her. Like he didn't have to call her at the end. At
Nope.
the end of the
He's
movie,
also-
once they catch Buffalo Bill, he straight up calls her to have a conversation.
But also
There
the
was
point
no need.
that also the point that he doesn't go out of his way to kill her at any
Yeah,
point.
he has no. He doesn't want to.
No,
He-
it's like it reminds
he's
me of
interested.
it reminds me of the dynamic from Dark Knight, Joker and Batman. Joker doesn't want to kill Batman because he's
Oh, I'd hard disagree with that.
the whole point of he doesn't want to kill Batman because he's too much fun with him. It's basically the same.
It's not about too much. I mean, I don't think it's about too much fun at all. I mean, listen, I can.
because then why wouldn't he kill her?
It's kind of more like I can't exist without you. You can't have the Joker without Batman.
No,
Joker
I'm talking about Hannibal now. I'm saying.
Oh,
why,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I thought you were so. I disagree
Yeah.
with you in terms of the Joker and Batman, and
okay.
that saying that's their dynamic. But we can save that for a Dark Knight episode. But in this, no, I do agree with you. He's kind of like I'm too interested in you.
Yeah.
You're more unique than these other guys.
Okay.
You're still like a pet compared to me, a person.
Okay.
But I'm just interested in you. I just disagree with how you were saying that's with Joker and Batman. That's something I would disagree with. But aside from the point, I think that also makes Clarice really interesting.
Yep.
She has like traits of a killer in that way. Because like I think he says at one point in the movie, you don't just like kind of become a killer. It's like a slow process over days.
Yeah.
He says
Which is the theme of Metamorphosis.
that's exactly theme of metamorphosis. You know, it's a gradual thing. And maybe he sees almost those baseline traits that he also had. He was extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
He was extremely driven and extremely ambitious. And
She's
look where he
also
turned
all
out.
the same thing.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know? So I think that just makes her an interesting, if not foil, if not also somewhat a mirror to him.
Yeah.
You know, like there's just a really interesting relationship there. And I kind of wish that the sequel movie was considered to be a lot better because I kind of want to see where that would go forward. But I don't feel like reading the book right now. I'm just too lazy.
Yeah.
But I do want to know. Like I'm very curious to see how that relationship would kind of like follow through going forward. It's just really interesting. And on that note, I get to talk about Buffalo Bill. Unless anyone else has anything to
For Clarice,
yeah. Before speak now
I
or
guess
forever
I
hold
do
your
want to
peace.
talk about how nobody kind of took her seriously throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
because she was a woman.
Yeah.
She was used as more or less bait in the beginning by
Yeah.
Crawford.
Yeah. I mean, like, perception's really important in this movie.
Mm.
Like, there's a lot of shots about, like, that involve, like, close contact of the face or even just the eyes. And they always, anytime that someone's talking to Clarice, you're always seeing them look directly at the camera.
Yeah.
Which does a really good job of creating empathy because you're literally looking at everything through her experience, you know, through her, like, you're looking at everything through her eyes. And then so much of the movie is, like, the theme is about perception. Like, people see Clarice as, like, this attractive woman, so they don't take her
and
seriously
that's all
in the
she's
field.
there
or
for.
Like, yeah, or, like, they look at her when she's walking on the street
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And, like, so much of Buffalo Bill's, his first sin, as Hannibal calls it, is coveting.
Yep.
You know, to see what someone else has and want that instead, right?
Yeah.
Or there's just a lot of stuff like that throughout the film. And I know there was a third one, but I'm suddenly blanking on it.
What themes?
In terms of perception, in terms of like perception being a major theme. Oh, well, yeah. Also, obviously, how Buffalo Bill wants to be seen.
Yeah,
Like he wants
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be seen
because he hates himself.
He hates himself. Like, you know, Hannibal says, you know, he's not actually a trans person. He just hates himself.
Yeah.
He wants to be seen as normal and as even as beautiful, which is something I'm going to touch on in a bit. But
I just want to point out
perception is super important.
the scene with Buffalo Bill when he dances in the mirror. The first time not the first time, when he comes up and he's like dancing in the mirror, the only thing I can think of is Dennis from It's Always Sunny. Are you telling me Dennis wouldn't do that?
I mean, he would, but also I didn't think about it till you mentioned
would.
it.
The moment I saw
Yeah,
his
I didn't
face,
think
I'm
about
like,
it until you mentioned it.
I looked
but
at his
yeah.
face like, is that Dennis?
Definitely think he'd do.
That's
Yeah.
not a
Dennis
bad...
also a psychopath.
Oh, he
Dennis
totally
is a fucking crazy person. Like, Dennis is kind of psychotic.
He skinned people in the show. He 100% did.
I'm sorry, he did what?
There's a line in the show
Yeah,
where there's a line in the show where like he and Dio are talking to a therapist, and he says something along the lines of "Oh, you dumb bird, bitch! I'll skin you alive and make you into a lamp."
Yeah.
She's like, do you have lampshades
right,
of skin
actually.
people? No, of course you don't. You wouldn't think of the smell, you stupid bitch.
I completely forgot about that scene, actually.
Yeah,
Holy
so
shit.
so Dennis is a serial killer. He might be Buffalo Bill.
That is starting to make a bit
Yeah.
more sense than I expected it to.
But also, I think
Jesus
Clarice being a woman that nobody takes seriously is kind of what saves her at the end.
Yeah.
Where like Buffalo Bill's like going up, like trying to caress her hair before he like kills her.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
turns
I mean,
off
I
the
do
light.
think that stems from his coveting.
Yeah,
Again.
yeah.
I don't know how much of it is he doesn't take her seriously, and how. I mean, maybe.
Well, not seriously, but like
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
An
Because he's a
attractive
woman,
woman,
he sees her
like,
differently. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, again, perception is huge in this movie.
Also, interesting point that both of you said. Well, I mean, we all said that Clarice is kind of overshadowed by Hannibal. For one of the only like negative review of the movie was saying that Foster's character, who is appealing, is dwarfed by the monster she's after. That was like the one negative thing.
The monster she's after.
is that
That would mean
considering
that
Buffalo Bill?
technically that means Buffalo Bill, but I'm guessing they obviously
guessing-
meant Hannibal.
Yeah.
I mean,
they just-
means both because she eventually wants to catch her at the
I
end.
guess
Really?
technically-
No.
She
'Cause
says
by the-
at the end of the line, she says, "I have to get you too."
I'm glad that by the end of the movie, it's the monster. By the very last line of the movie, it's the monster she's after versus the monster she's been after for the other 99.9% of the runtime. Tyler, I think it's just a bad line that means not what it's actually saying.
Well, you know what it means. It's
Yeah,
not like
I know what
yeah,
he means, but
it's
he's
just
wrong.
worded very
He's
poorly.
wrong. Like, he says it wrong.
Yeah.
Either way.
for that one minuscule point, he's wrong. But the point of that Foster being overshadowed is correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
oh, yeah.
we all agree.
We all agree on that. Like everything's overshadowed by Hannibal, including Buffalo Bill. All right,
Smooth.
here we go. Like I'm like butter today, man. I'm just all over the place. That didn't even make any sense.
Nope.
No, that was
Lost
weird,
it.
dude. That was
Lost it immediately.
Why would you say that?
I don't know.
Where were you going with that?
I got
one?
cocky.
Just all over the place. Just butter
Just-
on the walls, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't happen when you cook. You know, just every
Just move on. What were you gonna
Keep
say?
going, please stop.
Buffalo Bill is done a huge disservice in this movie. So he's obviously meant to be our main antagonist, but obviously he gets overshadowed by Hannibal, and he doesn't get to feel interesting because of that. So
Yeah.
here's a couple things that should be known beforehand. One, the director actually wanted to cut the dancing scene with Buffalo Bill, but the actor felt that it was too important to Buffalo Bill's character and had it kept in the movie. Two, that scene and several other scenes from the movie are changed slightly from the book in terms of a few small details that are very important, and
Yeah.
very key. And three, the director clearly did not really care about giving Buffalo Bill that much time in this film. Even though he's the main killer, you know, he doesn't really get that much going on. Like the only scene of thematic relevance to the rest of the movie that Buffalo Bill has is when he's going to kill Clarice and his eyes are covered because he has the glasses on. Like that kind of ties into the same perception theme we've had this whole time. But aside from the point, kind of partially to the point. Either way, his character's kind of done a really big disservice compared to the book. And I think there was some really easy ways to fix this because you don't feel any sympathy towards Buffalo Bill throughout this movie.
Yeah, not at all.
Not at all. He
just feels like a killer.
Except it's
That's
so
it.
easy to do so.
Yeah.
Because there's clearly things he cares about. He has Princess. He has that dog. That dog that is very clearly very well kept and very well groomed and kept very healthy and very happy. He's very obviously capable of empathy because he keeps calling the girls it. He doesn't want to call them her. He doesn't want to hear their names. He doesn't want to become attached to them. So he's capable of empathy. He's capable of feeling. He is capable of loving this dog and this animal pretty much more than anything else. The moment the girl is threatening the animal, he's completely losing his shit.
Yeah.
Right? So you could have
It was
easily
also
had...
just funny, seeing serious scenes, and then he's just holding the dog.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to create sympathy with that. You can easily have scenes of him, maybe a scene of him grooming the dog and making sure it's okay, or a scene of him caring for the dog.
Yeah,
You see, he treats how well he treats it.
Anything that made him feel slightly more human.
Exactly. And then there's one huge scene that I think could have been different. Because ultimately, the whole thing is Buffalo Bill is a sick person.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Hannibal's a sick person too. He's a sick person who doesn't want to be cured. There's something interesting about that. In the scene where he says, I killed a census taker. I ate his liver with some fava beans and Shanti. Those are both foods you cannot take while you're taking, I think it's medicine for schizophrenia. Both of those foods, you're not allowed to have them while you're taking that medicine.
I think I knew that.
Yeah, that's the famous part of that line. Those foods you can't have when you're taking it. So he's clearly off his medication, and he's happy to be. Yeah. He's a sick person who does not want to be healed, right? Does not want to be cured in any way. Whereas Buffalo Bill is a sick person who seemingly never really had the opportunity to be treated. He went to multiple conversion therapy centers, and all three of them sent him away because of a troubled history in his past as a child.
Yeah.
So he got so angry and frustrated by that he physically attacked a person. But he sought treatment multiple times and was rejected. He's a sick person. That's fundamentally what Buffalo Bill is, but it never feels that way through the movie.
It really doesn't.
He feels almost like especially the dancing scene. That's I think the most egregious mistake they do with Buffalo Bill. It feels like a freak show. They have this disco music in the back, and he's dancing, and he's flamboyant, and he has the skin suit sometimes, and it feels like the director is putting him on a stage for people to look at and mock almost. And then he has the scene where he's getting all dolled up, right, as if he's going to go out.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, you want to fuck me? Oh, you want to fuck me, don't you?"
Mm.
And apparently, so my girlfriend read the book for college, and in that scene, I think in the book she said, actually, "You're beautiful. Yes, you're beautiful." And that is a huge fucking difference.
Yeah, it is.
Because that's kind of all he wants to be seen as. He wants to be seen as a beautiful person, as accepted. Because he's gay. He can't stand the fact that he's gay. He's a white supremacist. He's a Nazi. We see the memorabilia all around his room in the ending scene. He wants to be seen as a person, as a normal person. He wants to be seen as a beautiful person, as a person possibly capable of being loved.
Yeah.
And that scene doesn't portray that in any way. But if it did, how much more sympathy can you have with a character like that? Because that's such a baseline feeling.
Yeah,
that's such a sympathetic and understandable emotion.
Yeah.
Well,
everyone experiences that.
Side note, you said you think he's gay?
He is gay. That's confirmed in the movie.
In the movie, he's not.
He says it in the movie. He says he was gay and couldn't accept it. Hannibal says that.
No, you're right that Hannibal does. Yeah, he says that. But according to this, the director specifically wanted to Lecter says he's not transsexual.
Yeah.
The director has said that Bill isn't a gay character. He was a tormented man who hated himself and just wants to be anyone else. And as far away as himself could be is just a woman. Because that's the farthest thing he can be from a man.
I mean, that doesn't mean he's not gay.
No. There's more. Much of the criticism, the director added that there was a tremendous absence of positive gay characters in movies, so I guess that's why he said that he wanted to make sure that in the movie he didn't specifically say what he was, but I guess
it's
Hannibal,
still, yeah. That's a cheap shit by the director, honestly. If the book says it and Hannibal's the main, you're one of your most intelligent characters in the show, say it.
What Ted Levine said, is there's a lot of flack about him being gay. I never played him as being gay.
Okay, but saying that I never played him as being gay doesn't necessarily mean that the character wasn't gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that, I don't know.
I mean, the movie got flack for that.
Well, the movie got flack also for its like portrayal of a quote unquote trans person because
that, I mean, like the LGBT stuff in the movie, LGBT stuff in the movie. That's what got.
Yeah, I mean, and pretty deservedly, I'd say. It's left muddled at best.
Yeah,
but
he also said that if the guy was gay, he'd be killing and maiming boys and men, and he was killing women.
I mean,
I think that
I don't really agree with the.
Yeah, I don't really agree with the actor on this one either.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll take what the original book is saying as well as what the film is portraying.
Yeah,
rather than what the actor's saying. In this
I think
case.
that's just his stance.
Yeah, I mean, hey, everyone can have a take on it, but I think that ultimately the movie does this huge disservice because it's so simple and so easy to make.
Yeah, I mean, you could literally just change one line.
No, that's what I kept saying because I was once I kind of came to that conclusion, I was like, all you had to do was change that line, change the music, make it less of this like poppy disco, make it a little bit slower, a little bit.
Yeah.
Something, because like all a film is really a way to portray these emotions, and you can easily just alter that scene a little bit, and then maybe add one scene with him and the dog, and suddenly you have a completely different emotional relationship with this character.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're actually caring about them, and then when he dies, you kind of feel something, even though it's like
suddenly there's this
something.
human side to this psychopath killer.
Yeah, and like what this kind of made me think about is Mindhunter with what's his name? I have it written down here. Ed Kemper. Ed Kemper is a serial killer, a real serial killer, and his character is portrayed in Mindhunter, and it's so interesting in that show. I haven't gotten to finish it. I think I watched about half of the first season, and I didn't get to finish it yet because I had finals and I was just busy with shit. But his portrayal is like he's a serial killer who decapitated his mother and fucked her skull, right? Like he's done like horrible shit.
Okay.
But then every time you see him, he does just feel like a person, just like a normal guy talking. Like he's got that meticulous way of speaking that Hannibal does, that kind of hypnotic charm that Hannibal does.
Yeah.
But he does feel like a person. And at no point in this does Buffalo Bill feel like a real human being. Instead of he feels almost like something that's being thrown out for the audience to torment.
So
and
is
mock.
this a problem you think because Hannibal is portrayed in the way he is?
No.
Because in the other movie, in No Country for Old Men, Anton isn't really like he doesn't really have a human side.
No. I mean, I think that there are two distinctly different emotions at play here. I think that with Anton, at no point, I mean, like Tyler said it, he's almost an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
You can almost compare him to Michael Myers.
Yeah, you could.
At that point, like he's this being here to seek retribution or
he
his
just
own goals.
Yeah, I mean,
This
this was just a question for thought.
Yeah, no,
because
it's a good question. It's a very good question.
For me, Anton in No Country for Old Men just feels like the embodiment of death. Right?
I mean, that's kind of Hannibal Lecter. You don't feel sympathy for Hannibal Lecter in this movie. He's not the embodiment of death. I shouldn't say that. But he's also this character you have no sympathy for, but you do have interest in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's important. Buffalo Bill, you don't even necessarily have interest in him. I feel like you need to have that sympathy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an
like
important
they could have done
emotional
something
moment for
to
him.
either make him give you that interest in him or make you feel sympathetic for him.
Yeah.
And they did neither.
I feel like the interest alone wouldn't have been enough just because you already have Hannibal.
But the interest alone would have been good.
Anything would have been better than what he got, which was pretty much nothing. Again, the director wanted to cut that dancing scene, which is like the only real character-based scene that he has in the movie outside of maybe the one where
the well?
The well. Outside of the well scene. I was going to say,
Yeah.
that's the only other real major character-based moment he has in the movie, and they were going to cut one of the two. You know what I mean? So it's like, you clearly didn't really care for portraying this character in an interesting way. The book clearly did, because by the time you finish the book, you actually feel a bit of sympathy for him when he dies.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that could have been very easily done in the movie, and you kind of actively chose not to.
Yeah.
So like, I like that's like a huge fuck up that I can't like look away from. Like, you actively made the wrong choice here.
Yeah. And it sucks.
Yeah. That was my big that's my big bone to pick with this movie.
Yeah.
I think Buffalo Bill could have been so much more interesting, and I think it could have made such a tighter movie overall. Like, if you feel sympathy for the killer in the cat and mouse story, while this non-sympathetic killer is the one working with the police, I don't know. There's just so many more layers of emotion you can get out of it. I think it's just really interesting. And I think it's a shame we didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean,
is a
it
shame.
could have. I mean, the movie is great already, that being one of the main negatives, but even then, I would still say the movie is...
It's still great.
it's great.
It's still great.
It's still great.
I can't necessarily overlook it, but the movie as itself is still really, really good.
Yeah.
And Tyler, you said you had one thing you wanted to mention. You had a question or something.
Oh, yeah. So, obviously, Hannibal is this brilliant person, and he can help you get... Like, he helps you get information, or he helps you solve something.
Mhm.
Anton is also somebody who can find something and get something. If you had to get something, or if you had something, who would you want?
Okay, is Hannibal in prison, or is he like out in the open?
Does it matter? Because he's not going out, like, killing.
So like, okay, so Hannibal's
I'd
giving me
take
the
Anton.
information, right?
You take Anton, right?
I'd take Anton.
Yeah, I feel like
Because you want to know why?
He'll get the
Anton
job
doesn't
done.
really want anything from you.
No, he's like, all right, you give me this.
If you give him a good reason and you give him something for the job, he'll do it, right?
Yeah.
Hannibal will like slowly take your life away.
Yeah.
Take your soul away.
And unless
I
you
agree.
fuck over Anton, he's not going to come back for you.
As long as you don't fuck him over, you're fine.
Just hire only Anton, do what he says,
Yeah.
and then minimal small talk. Yes, here's the deal. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
that's it.
That's
That's it. You're done. That's that's a clean deal. But now
you go to Hannibal. He'll
Yeah.
you
He's like,
ask
give
your
me your-
whole
give me your
life
trauma.
story, and then he's like,
I didn't like you.
I don't like you at all. So I'm gonna eat
Yeah,
you.
you're not that
Yeah.
interesting. But now
I mean, he straight
this
up
raises
eats-
a question now because like I thought you were actually going for like Hannibal versus Anton.
As who would win in the end?
Yeah, who would win in the end? Let's say you pit the two against each other, in a true cat and mouse, two cats.
I don't think Anton would give him anything.
I don't think Anton will give him anything, but do you think Hannibal is smart enough on that, like on a baseline level, to be able to already take out Anton? Again, we haven't seen the other two movies. We don't really know all of.
But like,
We don't know his whole kit.
Hannibal's whole point to get you to do something is that he needs information about your life. Anton,
Did he get information
I
about
felt
the
like
guy
it-
in the cell next to him that he convinced to kill himself?
probably
I don't
the
know,
guy
I
was
think-
ranting throughout the night. So.
I think they're
true.
two completely different characters.
Oh, I agree.
Right? So Hannibal is more of a with words like mental kind of thing, right?
Anton would just shoot you.
Anton is just like he's smart, but most of what's portrayed in No Country for Old Men is like physical or like shooting and stuff like that.
I mean, that's fair, but let's not forget that you have Hannibal's breakout scene.
Yeah, but that was also because he tricked them.
Yeah, he could probably trick Anton.
Yeah, but
Like
again,
Anton only realized that Moss was sitting there for the shootout scene
because of the blood.
because of the blood.
When he got out of the car, the trail of blood leads.
No,
the opposite way.
I'm sorry. I'm talking about earlier in the movie.
when
he's
he's
sitting in
sitting in the hotel room
yeah,
on the
he
bed
Oh,
with the
clicks
lights
okay.
off.
the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what sold it on him. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Anton, like if he had just cocked the gun a minute earlier, Anton would have walked right through the door. He would have shot through it like he did before. Like he did. You know,
Yeah.
that was his signature opener. But he had no reason to like wait and then cover the shadow like he did with a towel. Towel.
He covered it. He just took the light bulb out.
Did you just take the light bulb out? I thought he like covered the
No,
light.
you hear the light bulb being
Okay.
on. Yeah.
Either way, he wouldn't have had any reason to do that if he didn't get that,
But, I
that
mean,
auditory cue.
Would
I
it
think that
have really made a difference? Because
I mean, in that story, no.
Llewellyn was still like slow because he gets hit by the lock.
Yeah, I mean,
And either way, he's gonna get shot by the lock because he gets it pumped out from the.
I
airplane.
agree with you. In
Yeah.
that story, it's inevitable. But if you've taken the fact that, well, he can be fooled, he's not infallible.
No, he's not because he got fooled once before.
Hannibal was able to fool a hell of a lot of people just to get out of there.
It's also
But-
hard to describe, like, to do this when you've only seen like 20 minutes of one character.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Compared
I
to
don't
a
think we
whole
really
movie.
saw that much of Sugar too. Like compared to like the rest of out of the whole film, I don't think he had like a huge amount of runtime.
I mean, definitely more than Hannibal.
Definitely
yeah.
more than Hannibal. Hannibal was like barely in there. He just eats up every scene he's in.
Yeah. I think Anton would win if it was just Hannibal versus Anton. More for the fact because I think Hannibal needs information about the person. Like yes, you're right. You can trick him, but at the same time, Hannibal. I mean, first off, if they're going for a fist fight, because Hannibal is going to eat the guy or beat him, I don't think you don't see Hannibal use guns. He could. But
Yeah,
like,
we never seen him use the gun.
So, like, for the most part, Anton has the range, and Anton doesn't go down.
Yeah.
That's true. I don't know. I mean, the brutality that Hannibal shows, especially when he's beating that guy to death.
Yeah.
That's true.
But, I mean,
I mean,
It's
it's
a cl- I
also,
think-
you also see the brutality with Anton when he's
You do
choking
see the
guy to
brutality
death.
of Anton.
Yeah.
I do think I kind of want to give this one to Hannibal.
in a
It's tough.
one-on-one,
It's tough to pick.
on a one-on-one Hannibal.
In
but
a
if
one-on-one Hannibal, I think I'd take
But
it.
if you need somebody to find something, Anton.
Oh yeah, no, Anton any fucking
Yeah.
day of the week.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree. Hannibal will just fucking betray you.
Yeah.
Faison, you're our tiebreaker here.
I already said
No,
Anton.
he said
Oh, you said Anton? God
He said
damn,
Anton
I'm
for both.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I can expect that. And then on that note, this is time for our countdown. 3.
Catch me if you can.
Yeah, catch me if you can.
You thought this was going somewhere
He's
else.
going-
didn't you?
He's
No.
going No Country.
I'm debating between the. I am
I know,
debating between
I know.
No Country and
Yeah.
Catch Me If You Can, but I do ultimately think that it is Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
For as unsatisfying as No Country was to watch, I think that overall the movie was just better.
It's just a very well put together film.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Catch Me If You Can is just more fun. The performances are fine. There's not really a standout compared to the other two.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was definitely debating it after I watched it because like I had fun with Catch Me If You Can. It does have like highlights. Again,
yeah.
the scene where he sees his little sister in the window and stuff.
The montage for the airport. Yeah.
Montage, but like at the same time, in terms of just being a film, yeah, No Country for
Yeah.
Old Men blows it out.
Yep.
Okay, number 2,
No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men.
Yeah,
Solid.
I really just think it. Oh, Silence.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
He loves Old Country. He
Oh.
loves No Country.
Because again, I don't care for the first. I mean, it's not that I don't care for the first half of the movie. It's just that if Hannibal's not in it, I don't care. And then the back half
Okay,
of Silence.
that makes sense.
And then for No Country, I just love the whole thing about it. It's like, oh, what scene is this? The coin scene? All right, I'll start watching from here. What scene is this? When he shoots Carson? And all right, I'll watch from here. There's no point in that movie where I don't want to watch it.
It's funny. I don't think I'd ever rewatch No Country for Old Men again.
I think it's the lack of direction is what kills it for me.
Yeah, lack of clear narrative.
Yeah.
I think I don't think I'll ever if it was ever on, I don't think I'd ever watch it.
I mean, I'd watch it. Because a lot of the scenes I enjoyed watching.
I mean, they're enjoyable
right?
scenes, but I guess I shouldn't say that. I should say I will never seek out this movie again. I don't think I'm ever going to be like, oh,
I don't think-
I know what I'm feeling right now. No Country.
Yeah,
for
I don't
Old
think
Men.
I'd ever go back and rewatch it.
Yeah,
But
like
if
I
it was
think I
if it
can
was- if
I
was,
can
like,
rewatch.
going through the channels and I saw it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd put it on.
Who has cable anymore?
Well, now I'm curious.
Yeah, nobody.
I don't actually own cable.
I don't either. But I'm
Yeah.
just trying to, theoretically.
Theoretically, I mean, I would go back and rewatch Silence,
Mm.
guaranteed. No, Catch Me If You Can. It's kind of dependent, maybe if I'm in a mood for that movie, maybe I'll go rewatch it. But I'm not like right now. I think at any point I could probably go for a rewatch of Silence of the Lambs.
Mm.
I'm never really against
I feel like
it.
the lack of tension in Catch Me If You Can really killed it for me.
Yeah,
Kind of.
it just feels fun.
Because when you compare it to No Country, where it's the tense moments are
Constant.
edge of your seat.
Oh,
tense.
Yeah.
No Country, I think, has more tense moments than Silence.
Yeah.
I think it has more
Because
tense
it has the
moments.
whole
It does.
shootout. It has the coin scene.
Yeah.
There's definitely one more. Oh, him running away from the cartel at the beginning.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I agree. I would still say that I think Silence is more captivating in its tense moments.
Mm.
Even again, moments where Hannibal is just talking to Clarice. I could not break away looking
Yeah.
at that. I couldn't for the life of me. And during most movies, I can easily I just shift my attention between a few different things once in a while. But during stuff like that in Hannibal, I could not look away.
Mm.
So that's why for number 1, Hannibal. I mean, it's Hannibal. Signs of the Lambs.
Yes, Hannibal.
I agree. Silence of the Lambs.
And
And No Country for Old Men.
that's the
I'm
Binge.
more curious about, since both of you say that this movie lacks narrative, I can't wait until you see an actual Coen
Proper
Brothers
Coen
movie
Brothers
that
movie?
Yeah.
doesn't
Where
have
it
a narrative.
legitimately lacks narrative.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of excited. The only Coen Brothers movie I've seen is Garfield. That is a joke. I know that it's the other Coen Brothers. A different pair.
Horrible
a different-
joke.
Letting you sit
Holy
there.
a different,
shit,
a
that
different.
was-
No.
No.
That's the end of the
No.
episode.
A different
Call it.
Coen.
Call it right now.
No. It's actually really good. It's really funny. Who is it? Tom Hanks, I think it was. No, not Tom Hanks. Bill Murray.
Yes.
He thought that this movie was being done by the Coen Brothers, as in No Country for Old Men. But it was actually a completely different Coen Brothers who made this movie. Now
Okay.
talk about a cat and mouse situation, right there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be seeing you next week.
Thank
I
you for
hate you.
listening.
Have a good
I
one.
We'll
hate
see you
you.
guys next
See ya.
week.